Hey, test, 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 test. Sweet. Okay. All right. Hello, all. Trying to get an Agricola game here, obviously. Um, yeah, trying to get an Agricola. Probably talk about WBC a bit, and yeah, just hang out before Lumen's stream. Assuming Lumen's even streaming, which I don't know if that's true. I don't even know if he's back for sure. I don't know if he's feeling well. I admittedly possibly should be napping, but I'll probably nap a little bit later. I'm still not fully unpacked. My floor is a mess in the back, but hello, yeah, welcome. Um, what else? Nobody else is actually in the queue apparently at the moment. I'll honestly check if there's a simple table. I don't really care about arena. I just actually like the arena settings for once. But I don't really mind regular tables either. But like this one has no rep requirements and isn't even with a ban list. Yeah, see, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. Um, so back to the arena queue and hope that we get a game relatively quickly. Yeah. What is there to say? Yeah, I don't know. I had a really good time at WBC as always. Results wise, it didn't go stupidly well like it did last year, but it was pretty good. Maybe slightly unlucky on average, but I had a reasonable year, results wise too. So that was good. Played a lot of games, got to quite a few advancement rounds. All of that was nice. As always, excited and pumped to go again. Do you have a bit of, yeah, like I say, still have unpacking and catching up to do on BGG. I always like to make a post or like make a geek list of my year and stuff. So I have a bunch of writing and stuff I want to do for that. I got to get back into the swing of real life stuff coming up here too. So I mean, all of those things have to happen at some point. But trying to sneak another Agricola in. I did get a lot of Agricola in at the start of the week, plus that's when the Agricola tournament was. But then I was so busy, like I barely did any open gaming. I probably last Agricola on Tuesday, which is kind of sad, but the number of open gaming Agricola players also was kind of light this year. A lot of our Agricola crew had to leave early too, so but I mean, I also wasn't really in open gaming all that often. But yeah, it's just like a little sad. Like thinking back to like 2022, I think I played a lot of open gaming Agricola, but I had more gaps in my schedule. I didn't know as many games still, and like there was just more friends hanging around. So it was easier to like just wander to open gaming and like sit down at a table. But yeah, this past year, or this past week, I might have only done like one or two open Agricola games once the tournament actually started, but luckily I got several in a day or two prior at like a private little meetup ahead of time, so that was really cool. Yeah, I'm just actually looking now, since I'm bored. I'm trying to look back at my 2022 WBC, which here it is. I was pretty sure I got several open gaming Agricolas in. There's two open gaming Agricolas. Those are all tournament Agricolas. But there's a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, an eighth, and a ninth. So I mean, I guess that's not that many, but well, I'm saying it's not that many. I mean, that's still like one a day. Um, But yeah, so definitely in 2022 I played a bit more. I also did way more open gaming in 2022, like on Saturday, just looking at this list. But at that point, I wasn't really playing Navigador and some other stuff that I did now. So yeah, interesting how it has shifted over time on how much I grind certain games. But yeah, I got a lot of games in as always. So uh, it's always part of the goal. I am excited to be back to Revised, though. I really have become a Revised player. I mean, I enjoy the original with some of the expansion decks, but I don't know. I've gotten so used to Revised, I guess, as like the format and the meta. But looks like our queue is turning brown here, which means I'm probably sitting at a table with questionable things. But to be honest, I don't really care. I just want a game. I'm actually totally okay if the game is like kind of easy and mindless. I'm probably not that sharp at the moment, to be totally honest. I've just spent however many days in a row trying to be super sharp at a lot of games, and I think I relatively was. I am relatively happy with how I played at WBC in all of my games, but I do think I am a bit fatigued and tired, and not gonna be the sharpest at the moment, but that's fine. I'm not used to looking at the new game list. Also, does it just max out at 1,000 tables? It can't return more. Like, are these even live? Are these like the most recent live tables? How do I even tell how long ago they started? I can't. How do I tell if they're arena mode or not? BGA, you had a perfectly usable. Okay, wait. Here is this how I tell if it's an arena table? This little gray symbol tells me that this is an arena table. That appears to be the case. Barrel pusher, pavier, brewery pond. That seems solid. House artist, bonehead, fireplace. I don't even know what's happening in this game, but it looks okay. Um, yeah. What else do I know? Don't know that I know a ton. I just wanted to, I just wanted to just kind of want to play an Agricola game here and hang out a bit, but not obvious how long I have to wait for that. Have I managed to play Age of Innovation on BGA? Sort of. Um, I was part of the Age of Innovation playtest group. So Age of Innovation was actually playtested on BGA. So it was in a like a very private alpha mode for a long time, and I played it there under several iterations. I don't know that I've honestly played Age of Innovation on BGA since it like has like more officially released. I don't even know if I've played Age of Innovation on BGA under the actual Age of Innovation rules. But anyhow, in practice, I have played. Yeah, I mean, the rules that I played in the past are, at least like 90 some percent of whatever the final version is, but there were definitely tweaks. Um, okay, good old draft date. Very happy that we're having draft date. Field Doctor is interesting, but you tend to need decent ceiling for it. Um, the miners here are pretty underwhelming. I mean, pig swill can be okay. Every once in a while, clay pipe does some things. Estate worker is generically fine. Mayor candidate's pretty good. Like you play mayor candidate off of a single reedstone food, and suddenly you have a well, Now, Mayor Candidate is very awkward with that weird restriction about, you need to get rid of all your stone and wood, so you have to have just the right amounts. But that's not usually that's not too hard to actually work out. Our opponents are pretty good, except Liven or whatever is apparently not rated very well. So we do have the best seat at the table too, which is handy. I'm very tempted to take Mayor Candidate. I'm just very low on. I'm not super low on Field Doctor. Field Doctor's pretty good because just plowing is generically good. But I don't always love first picking Field Doctor if I have something else like pretty good. And I think Mayor Candidate's pretty good. I think Mayor Candidate's pretty good. And then I probably just take Pig Swill. I mean, Pig Swill's like fine. It's not thrilling, but like again, what else is thrilling here? Like nothing. So I just first pick these cards. I'm expecting to maybe get Lumberjack back, which actually makes Pig Swill maybe arguably slightly better, or I get a State Worker. Somebody takes Field Doctor. Dairy Crier can come back, so extra animals in the game. Another reason to fence early. Okay. Whatever minor comes back is basically useless, so whatever, we won't worry about it. Den Builder is here. Den Builder is pretty good, although I don't have a good grain source. I like Chick Stable a lot. I'm still a relative Butter Churn fan. Pioneer plus Outrider. Uh-oh, wait a sec. I mean, does the Outrider wheel when the 100 rated players in front of me? But like, that's actually like Pioneer Outrider is actually a fairly legit combo. Oh, Den Builder is pretty damn good, but like I really want to just go Pioneer Outrider, hoping that I get Outrider back. I don't even know that it's good enough, but I really want to go. Exactly, the memes are so strong. Like Pioneer Outrider, Pioneer's honestly okay on its own. Like it's okay on its own. I don't know that I get Outrider back, and like Den Builder is for sure just the safer pick here. But like also Fur Cutter is maybe a thing, but like I'm going Pioneer and then hopefully Outrider, and I'm just gonna take Chick Stable. Chick Stable's fine. It's for a little bit of food help. Fur Cutter is great, but it's clunky with. Yeah, I'm not very. Fur Cutter also I think is also a tad overrated. Like it can be a very good way to generate a bunch of wood, obviously, yes. But I have to take a bunch of animals, which is not obvious I want to do. It relatively rewards big family, which I don't know I want to do. You're low on Den Builder unless you have easy grain. Yes. I mean, to be clear, yes. But also, like, getting a relatively easy access to grain and revised is not usually the hardest thing to do. But I agree that I don't have a guaranteed source of it yet. So, like, passing on the Den Builder is not that big of a deal. And I really want to go for this Outrider nonsense, but again, we'll see what we actually get. Oh, also, hey, look at the stupid card rewarding us for if I had gone for the let's spam animals route. That's a bit sad, but that's how it goes. 3 field rotation, Fern Seeds, like these things don't look like they're what my game is about yet. Mud Patch is fine though, like I just get a pig, like sure. I'm probably taking Full Farmer because I believe in Full Farmer being pretty dang good. I also passed a Field Doctor, and I really don't like giving Field Doctor points of ceiling for farming because, again, I think that's what they need. Fellow Grazer is also pretty good, though, for Field Doctor. So, I mean, whatever. I can't stop everything. I just believe in Full Farmer still. There's a lot of animals in the game with Dairy Crier, with Pig Swill, with Mud Patch, like the Animal Dealer. There's just so many animals potentially popping up in this game. I'm gonna go for this stuff. And I won't, but I mean, I don't know what I'm actually doing yet because I'm doing nonsense. But Grow has a chance of not being very contested. Yes, I agree with that. So, but that to be clear, To be clear, that like the fact that grow help, like the fact that Storks and Field Doctor could be running around, Den Builder, in my opinion, raises in how valuable it is. Also, I passed Field Doctor. Like Den Builder, Field Doctor is like pretty strong. So like, I should not be picking Pioneer. I should just be taking Den Builder, in my opinion. But I'm not necessarily trying that hard to win this game. I'm trying to have fun, and so I'm gonna go have fun. But I could very well be losing to some nonsense. Muddy Puddles adds more animals to the game, but again, I don't know that I have. I don't know that there's clay for Muddy Puddles. Resource Recycler kind of cute, but I don't know when people are renovating to stone. I'm quite low on bottles. I'm relatively low on Potter's Market. Both bottles and Potter's Market put more pressure on the clay stack, so Muddy Puddles is even harder. So this might be just take a hand cart, because hand cart's actually like okay. Um, I think this is take chairman. I don't have great food yet, and I don't mind like throwing more food into the game. Um, I'm relatively high on chairman overall, to be honest. The flax farmer is only okay. I'm not very high on flax farmer. Yeah, I'm not very high on flax farmer. I'll take a chairman. I'm not well, if I'm playing pioneer and mayor candidate, I mean this chairman's unlikely to come out, so then resource recycler is a bit more exciting. Hmm. 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 Yeah, I don't know. I sort of want this muddy puddles too with full farmer. Like just a couple more animals could be huge. I just don't know that there's going to be huge clay stacks or not. A handcart also makes it slightly less likely that there are big stacks because it steals a resource or two off of stacks. Um, that's hard. Handcart versus money puddles is hard here. I'm not sure what I prefer. I am gonna just take the chairman, but I don't know about that either. I think I lean towards handcart ultimately here. So that's what I'm gonna do. See if handcart doesn't nab us some extra resources this game. This maybe should be Money Puddles though. Gosh, Money Puddles is good. Maybe we just wheel an animal dealer. That would make it so easy. Land survey and wheel the field doctor. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming the field doctor is gone, and I assume other people are therefore plowing pretty early and aggressively. But again, who truly knows? Who truly knows? I'm still dreaming for Outrider out of six pack, but Estate Worker came back. That's kind of unexpected. Lumberjack also came back, mildly unexpected. I do think I take Clay Pipe here. I'm not particularly high on Clay Pipe, but I'm super low on Forestry Studies. Oh, does Forestry Studies handcart work? I don't think so. Wood needs to have at least 6. Okay, damn it. If handcart said 5 plus for the wood stack, Forestry Studies with handcart actually would be totally kind of fun and wild and interesting. But that's not actually a thing. So, um, I think I take a state worker. I mean, part of me does want to like fence relatively early and try to do animal things, but like the other part of me thinks that I'm just fencing once with everything. I don't know when I'm playing a state worker though, I guess, given that I'm playing all these other cards relatively early, but Lumberjack also wants to come out early-ish. Full Farmer is the only one that's really coming out late at the moment. I mean, our hand's just a lot of options at the moment. A state worker can be played in the mid game, I guess. It's just a little slow at that point, but maybe the like reedstone that it gives helps fuel a late renovation or something. Cattle Whisperer with Full Farmer is mildly intriguing too, but like I think I'll get my animals other ways. I'll just take the generic estate worker here. The one clay from estate worker is kind of nice for like a clay pipe chick stable thing too. Although Pioneer may also be giving me like my 1 or 2 extra clay here or there that I need or want or whatever, but we'll see. Also, I'm not sure I'm playing Pioneer, right? Like I might be playing Pioneer. I want to be playing Pioneer Outrider. Come on, Outrider. Oh, they gave it to me. They gave it to me. Oh, the memes. Let the memes begin. Oh my god, we're running. We're definitely running that. I mean, look, at this point, is Fur Cutter just actually better with Full Farmer and the rest of the game plan, and we just completely ignore this silly Pioneer Outrider stuff? Possibly. Absolutely, that's possibly better. But is that what I'm doing? Hell no. We're doing this shit. Automatic water drop's pretty good though, right? I have a full farmer. I want a way to like get the extra animals that of whatever I'm missing. Honestly, mud patch with full farmer's mildly cute too, because like I can sort of make some of that work. I don't know. We'll see. But anyhow, I'll take an automatic water trough. It's pretty good. Oh, I'm so ready to run Pioneer Outrider. So ready to run Pioneer Outrider. All right, so whenever we use the most recent action space, we're going to get a food, a grain, and a resource of our choice in addition to that space. Ideally, we get to like open Pioneer into Plow, into like Outrider, into like So Bake, and then we also get to like go Mayor Candidate into like Major Minor. And then, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But like, wow, fellow Grazer came all the way back around. Fellow Grazer and Full Farmer are not particularly friends. Full Farmer says you want to have a lot of pastures. Fellow Grazer says you basically want two. So I guess I could take a seatmate. I mean, seatmate occasionally is pretty nasty for allowing some plow so shenanigans, but it's not very good. I will take a stone weir purely because it's a stone to a point, not because I plan to actually use it. Growing farm is just like unplayable. So, um, gosh, do I just take a fellow grazer? Is there ever worlds where I want to build like two pastures for 4 points and just ignore full farmer? There might be. There might be scenarios where actually just fellow grazer instead of full farmer is cleaner. I'm potentially going to get a good number of majors between Pioneer resources and some stuff going on here. And I'm going to want an oven someday, probably. Which means I might not want a hearth and might not want to eat animals and might just want a big pasture for animals. Huh, deeply unclear. I will take fellow grazer as like just another option for how we can build our farm. We don't have to commit to the full farmer. You got to get back to grad school class. We'll watch it later. Okay, yeah, thanks. If this was just Field Doctor, Fur Cutter, Full Farmer, Land Survey, it's probably a better game, but this is more fun. Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I don't actually know that I should be doing what I'm doing, right? As I've repeatedly been discussing, it's deeply unclear that this is better, but unfortunately, Sobake in the one, wow, damn it, Sobake in the one with Outrider is actually legitimately disappointing. Because yeah, a lot of times with Outrider, you want to play Outrider, you want to plow, and then you want to plant that grain from Outrider, but that's not what's happening here, so be it. I will just Ock. I have a lot of Ocks that I'm willing to play here. I am going to play Pioneer first, although honestly, just it's possible even just playing Chairman and then spamming the other stuff is better, but if Major Minor's next round, I want to be ready for it. What do I want with Pioneer, though? Like, maybe it is just a reed here. I'd like to get like one Reedstone food action so I can build the well. But yeah, let's take a reed food, I guess. Yeah, let's just take a reed food. Pretty standard stuff here thus far. I might just plow with my next action. I don't know when I'm plowing this game, and knowing that there's a field doctor in the game, I mean, to be fair, if either of these players have field doctor, they should be plowing. But if this player, field watchman private teacher, oh boy, okay, well, GG, probably. Absolutely disgusting That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Also, oh shit. Oh shit. There is a non-zero chance that purple did not take field doctor or den builder. This could be private teacher, field watchman, field doctor, den builder, in which case I truly am saying good game. Like, oh my god, like that hand would be insane. There's also competition for the ovens now if I'm trying to do outrider shenanigans. I mean, maybe that's one way to like not let them just win, but like I don't know. Placement of the field says no. Bullet dodge. That is a strong point. Good call. Pretty unlikely that they wound up with the field doctor. So okay, we still actually have a game then. Um, it's actually a game at least. Teal's gonna plow. Wow. I mean, highly improbable that Teal has the field doctor, and indeed, field placement continues to say not field doctor. So purple presumably does have it. I probably am just taking 2 wood. I mean, I could take 2 clay so I could build fireplace when major miner comes out in the future. I guess that's reasonable here. I don't really actually want an oven that hard anymore. Like, I don't know when Outrider's getting played. I'm not getting grain in the ground. I guess I do just take 2 clay and can build a fireplace relatively easily off major miner. Yeah, that seems actually pretty strong. That seems pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Anyhow, private teacher field watching is still a huge concern. I mean, let's not be clear. Like, let's be clear that having the option to go grain ock plow with a single peep in the early game is insanely good, especially because it's usually your second action. So we're still very concerned, but I mean, that's literally their first 2 picks. So like, what can you do? I'm usually pretty low on private teacher, actually. Unfortunately, purple is going to start. That sucks. Did we first pick up Pig's Will? I mean, we first picked some ugly things, yeah. FP makes the one sheet more playable too for 3 food and a resource. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, sheep market's just flipped, and like I am 4th seat, so like there is a decent chance that I'm taking 1 sheep at the end of this round, as ugly as that also is. So maybe I'm just playing Outrider here and just getting the game set up. I mean, right? Like we're running the meme combo. Let's absolutely run it. And I don't really need Reedstone Food or 2 read that hard when I have Pioneer. I need good wood grabs eventually, but yeah. Admittedly, it's possible purple plows and I get read back anyhow, but that's fine. I don't have to take 1 sheep. I'm settling for 1 sheep. I want to take major miner when it comes out. But Pioneer Outrider is too fun not to play. Like, again, is this going to win? Who the hell knows? But Pioneer Outrider way too fun not to play. So food grain resource on the most recent action round space is also a pretty good combo. It's just sad that private teacher field watchman is clearly a better combo, but it's fine. All right, they do just go 2 read, which suggests to me that purple has a field doctor that they're decided that they're just going to give up on, is what I'm guessing is what's happening, and that's also pretty reasonable. I will take Reedstone Food over sheep food resource grain. God, is that even accurate? I could take sheep food resource grain? Huh. That actually might be better than... That might be better than Reedstone Food. I'm not sure. Merchant gets played. That's less scary. That's already way less scary. How is Merchant your 3rd best occupation worth playing? I'm confused, but whatever. Yeah, I'm taking the sheep space. Like, there is not a better action for me, so. What resource combos do I actually want? Probably Stone Food and fight for an early well. I still like Stone Food, play Mayor Candidate, play well. I like that, like a relatively early well. I don't mind getting an extra read at some point, but I think I take the Stone Food at the moment. Although, annoyingly, Teal is also pretty close to an early well already, where they're at. They played a Potato Harvester, though. My god, what a weird game. Maybe I'm not playing Mayor Candidate, too. Who knows, but... whatever, we have a fun enough start. Major minor flips, that's relatively good for us, because nobody else can fireplace yet, so I will just... but 4 clay, first action, of course. I will fireplace. I mean, I have a stupid combo. I'm gonna run the stupid combo. Red insta SPs. What a weird start. What a weird like game of fighting for things. Teal can just have their 3rd Reedstone Food if they want it. Yeah. beer tap. Beer tap is not one of the scary ones, right? We can turn a ton of grain into 9 food. I mean, yeah, it's fine, but... And then we're merchanting a reed pond. Reed pond is cute, at least. Okay. Teal does just take wood. That makes a lot of sense. I am going to major minor. I'm on board. I have a dumb combo. We're running it. I'm taking another stone food. I mean, I'm not guaranteed to get a well. Maybe it's supposed to be reed food now. It's probably supposed to be reed food at this point. I really don't want to take reedstone food, actually, all that much. So, beer tap is the worst of all. Yeah. Final laurel count. Hey, Sean. It was an okay week. I am probably at 66. 66 is still a pretty good week. But yeah, not... Wow, okay, so now purple does look like they're still possibly field doctoring. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I was relatively happy. I didn't actually win any events, but I have 3 seconds, a 4th, and a 6th. So it was a mildly down year, actually, I think. Like, ever so mildly unlucky, but, like, 66 is still pretty good. And honestly, if I think that I was, like, slightly below average in luck and I still put up 66 laurels, I think that shows, like, a lot of the effort and work I've put into getting very good at a lot of games. And min-maxing my schedule has paid off, because, like, if my average year is to just put up like 70 to 80 laurels, like that's pretty insane also. So like whatever. I am gonna get reedstone food last action if I want it, and I just don't think I want it. Pan baker from the weak player, yeah, like whatever. I think I'm supposed to just take 3 wood so that I can actually like think about rooms, but I don't totally know what purple is up to. I don't know if this is field doctor or if this is build a room, but like I think just take 3 wood. 3 wood's like by far I think my most flexible action option here. So I think I should just do it. And indeed, it's what I'll do. Pioneer Outrider is going to be fun. So fun. So very fun. Honestly, if I could get wood into build so that I can try to fight for first family growth with Pioneer Outrider, like, oh, so good. But otherwise, I'm eventually gonna be Pioneer Outridering on. I would like 3 wood here, but Teal also wants 3 wood. Yeah, Teal also wants 3 wood, but I can mayor candidate. Teal SPs. Oh my god, you are the best. You are just the best, Teal. I guess purple will build a room, presumably. Although, again, they might be field doctors, so who really knows? Well, yeah, stone cart comes out, sure. You have fun with that. The well looks extra valuable now that a ton of stone got thrown into the game, though, so there is that. But I'm just going to get room parts here. I have a kind of cool setup. How did I do in Agricola? Yeah, great question. I did very well in Agricola. I got second place overall in Agricola. I lost to Andrew by a single point in the final. I was 4th seat, which, by the way, my luck though in pulling seats, my god, I have now been 4th seat in both of my semifinals and both of the finals for the last 2 years. It's been just all 4 games have been 4th seat, which is pretty wild. But no, Andrew played super well in the finals, and I think I played really well in the finals. I put together this cool Stonecutter Businessman game. Stonecutter works just like it does in Revised. Businessman says after you play a minor improvement on start player, you can play a major improvement. So I was able to go start player and like play the well for 2 stone and a wood relatively early. I then had this other card called Village Well that replaces the well. It gives you an extra point and 3 food and then returns the well. So that was extra cool because in the mid game, I got to start player Village Well, and then the well gets returned. Businessman says I could build a major. I got to rebuild the well. So now I have a well and a Village Well on my board for 9 total points and 13 downstream food. I'm fighting for the growth queue. All of that was pretty sweet. I did some other sick stuff too with a joinery and a joinery upgrade and some other cool things. Yeah, ultimately Ultimately, it wasn't quite enough. Andrew just played a very, very strong and solid game himself. He managed, the key thing was early growth came out, and he managed to double build, and he grew second, fourth. But he did some other really sharp stuff because he could have grown second, third, but he actually let me grow third because he realized he needed the big stack of like 6 clay and some other stacks. Like, just due to the way the rounds came out, he navigated it really well. He played stupidly well. I played very well. And it was 51-50, and I just was on the wrong side of that number. I also win all tie breaks in that tournament format if I had scored one more point because I was 4th seat. So, anyhow, I'm quite happy with my play. I'm also very happy how I played the semifinal. The semifinal, I did not have particularly strong cards, and I comboed together a pretty tricky Peaceworker, Storehouse Keeper, bake lots of grain hand into a late animal breeder. So, which I also had an animal breeder, so I mean that's pretty good. But like somebody at the table had Educator and some other crazy stuff. So I'm blabbing a lot, and I'm supposed to take a move. I lost track of what happened. Field Watchman did the classic, so they're gonna beer tap. They're gonna beer tap 3 grain into 6 food. That's still pretty dang good. This Land Surveyor though, they're gonna plow and they're gonna get a food. They're pretty clearly field doctoring, right? I mean, like, they're not going to build and take a beggar. So, like, I don't have to build here. I just don't think I have to build here because of what's happening. So, if I don't have to build here, it's pretty tempting to play mayor candidate and then open next round with build. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to play mayor candidate and hope that I can sneak a well down still at some point. Like, next round might be able to go build plus well, or it could possibly still be build plus grow. But with nobody else ready to build, and knowing the turn order here... Playmaker will be ready to build with Reed Pond. Very important, actually, to note that. However, player order still is going to save me there, and I'm just betting that purple with Field Doctor is plowing this field. Based on where these guys have plowed, they definitely don't have Field Doctor. This guy definitely has Field Doctor. Land Surveyor really suggests that they're intending to plow and get a food. Instead of taking a beggar to build. So let's take advantage of all of that, and let's just sneak this mayor candidate in. Get some stuff. Make our score go super negative. But does Andrew have a BGA name? Yeah. Sorry, I was using Andrew. Andrew is CS2376 Junior. He doesn't play a ton of revised online, and in the revised format, he's probably only rated like a 500-ish, but I mean, he's still very good. Still very, very good. Second in the field, still a very good achievement. Yeah. I mean, look, I agree. I won both of my heats, and then I won my semifinal game from 4th seat, and then in the finals, I took a 1-point loss. Like, whatever. Like, I'm very happy with second in that field. Back-to-back finals for Andrew and I, like, whatever. Build into grow, then round 6 Reno flips, and you clay into Reno well. I mean, that would be actually the nuts ace of spade. Oh my god, and growth flipped. Oh my god, let's dream. I mean, honestly, even Stone Oven at this point is actually insane. Stone Oven is also insane for us. So, like, whatever. Like, we get growth here with Outrider. Like, I mean, we are this Pioneer, like, we might be winning the game, actually, with these breaks. Like, Pioneer Outrider is so happy to have more actions to spam the stuff that comes out. Like, just one pig is a fine action. Like, one veg is going to be a great action. These early sheep are still kind of ours, although people are taking clay and might build a hearth. But again, Stone Oven is going to provide me so much food. I might actually want Stone Oven over well, but I mean, maybe I want both. I don't know. We'll find out. I just build a room here. There's no other layout restrictions for me. No, there's not. Okay, cool. I want to think about building another room, so I might be taking Reed Food. Like, Reed Food off growth here might be the play. I probably don't play Handcart, because Handcart probably doesn't actually do anything this game. Although it might. Maybe I do just drop the Handcart anyhow. Handcart's going to give me a resource or two even in early growth, right? Right? I don't know. We'll have to decide. I need to ban this guy. That's what I was up to, right? Yeah, there we are. Goodbye. Okay. Yeah, this game's pretty sweet. Pioneer is going to be already have been 4 resources, 4 food, and Outrider's going to have already been 3 grain. I mean, I did have to take a slightly weird 1 sheep action. So, like, admittedly, that one is a little bit ugly. Although that 1 sheep action was basically that 1 sheep action was day laborer, and then it was boosted day laborer because I got a grain and other stuff. Hearth does go, so the sheep are going to go. Purple's going to take the sheep. So I might just take clay food here so that I can stone oven regardless. I mean, I'd love to get 6 clay and then do the whole Reno crap that Ace of Spade points out, but it's probably safest for me just to take clay food so that I can just build a stone oven. Stone oven's a little bit spooky in that I don't have the best grain source to continue running it forever, but I still have a fireplace that can eventually be more food too with animals that I definitely want to have and take. So I'm leaning towards actually clay food because if clay gets taken here, I'm not gonna have easy access to clay. Although I might just be getting 6 clay. There's no obvious reason that I'm not getting 6 clay. I guess I'll have to see what my opponents do, right? I can have a much better idea after teal and purple go here. Purple might want a start player to get the next build grow, and indeed that's what they're doing. Wow, that's not what they're doing. They're grain plowing without an ock. Okay. I don't know what that means. Why are they grain plowing without an ock and first action? Why would you first action that? They're pretty good players, so there's a reason. I just don't know what it is. Wow, yeah, all the clay is gone. Okay, I think clay deposit, gross. Okay, so we have a clay deposit fool. Sure. In that case, yeah, let me take clay food on grow so that I can stone oven. Unfortunately, I'm not renovating next. Oh, I could still take 3 clay to renovate next round, maybe, but let's take the clay food. Also, Reno could be around here, and I could then maybe take a big pile of clay. So we'll see. I'm gonna handcart. I'm gonna claim that handcart is gonna handcart might get me a reed or even a wood. It's not obvious that the next moves are 3. Take these piles. I don't know. We're gonna claim handcart is worth paying 1 wood for. And it might not be. That's the problem. That's the problem with handcart. You have no idea, but yeah, I mean the sheep are getting taken. So handcart's giving me either a wood or a reed. I'm getting one of these options. One of these are definitely happening, and honestly, it might be both. Red might be start playering. Yeah, so they must have a grain cost. They must have a grain cost miner, which is why they did it this order. But yeah, they're gonna build grow. They do have they have fern seeds. Okay, so they did this so that they could fern seeds. Sure. They get away with it because purple didn't SP although again, purple doesn't want to build grow. Purple wants to actually plow their stuff in, but field doctor and early growth, this game looks pretty dead to me. I'm really only concerned about playmaker. They're growing second. Teal's too weak here. So, I mean, on one hand, taking wood so that there's not 6 wood, but on the other hand, taking a reed, and it's not Reno yet. Interesting. I don't actually know what to take here because both are pretty nutty. I should probably take a reed. Maybe I should take a wood. I might just be taking 4 reed first action. Because, eventual BMW looks kind of okay, too. Although I don't want to take too many reedstone foods, because I have to get rid of all this stone. I don't know. I'm in a good spot. That's the real good news. I can take single stone. I also could take single stone this round, right? Single stone could actually be stone food grain. Stone food grain's a totally fine action. But anyhow, red builds, pretty understandable. I'm going to take either 4 reed or 5 wood. Teal just tells me which. It's basically reedstone food, but better. Yeah, correct. Single stone is even good. Okay. Teal told me that I'm taking 4 reed, so that's fine. I believe them. Thank you, Teal. 4 reed's fine. I'd love to get 4 wood back, but I don't know that I do. But even just getting 3 wood back is fine here. 3 wood so that I can build again is fine. 3 wood SP into build, I honestly probably would do that if nobody else stops me. And I'm not convinced that Teal knows that they have to start player to stop me from doing that. So pub owner gets played. Sure. Sure it does. Whatever. Red grows. I'm going to take wood. And I would SP Chick Stable. I would SP Clay Pipe, right? SP Clay Pipe actually gives me 2 food immediately. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't Stone Oven, but, I mean, can I feed if I do that? I go SP Clay Pipe into build, into 2 sheep or bottom feed. I totally could. There's so much food on the bottom that people aren't taking because they don't need it really. I mean, I guess Teal does need the bottom feed. I think I get 2 sheep next round if I want to. I think I totally can go 4 wood, SP clay pipe, build 2 sheep if I need to into grow again. If nobody stops me. Greening plan made its way to this Field Watchman game. That's a little bit scary. This game is still scary, but also like my resources, like I don't know. We'll see. This is looking. I really like my spot still too. We'll see what happens here. I mean, teal should be starting in order to go grow. Honestly, purple should still probably just SP into build grow. Okay, and teal is starting. All right, good. I mean, I could still threaten to build, but now I'm just going 4 wood into. I think I'm going 4 wood into the well, but we'll see. Reap hook. Okay. I do take 4 wood, right? Is there any scenario where I don't take 4 wood just so I can hand cart it? No, that doesn't make the most sense. I can hand cart a clay next round. Nobody's taking 3 clay, but I'll be able to hand cart the clay. That's cool, actually. It's pretty cool. Wow, somebody is taking the clay, but they're taking 2 clay to set up pub owner. Sure. I mean, that does work. But I guess it's 2 clay and a grain. What else were they supposed to do? They're supposed to keep plowing, probably, but I could take 3 wood just so I'm threatening double build. 3 wood, so I'm threatening double build. That seems crazy. I think that's too crazy. I think I just want a 4th room. I don't think I want a 5th room. Hey Patrick. Hey. I'll answer that in a sec. Now the new question is, do I want a well or do I want a stone oven? And I mean, I think the answer is I want to build the well, right? Like stone oven is what I thought I wanted for a little bit, but I think I want the well. And I think next round I'm just opening 7 food. Like I build well here. This player should be opening build, and then I just open 7 food and I'm happy. And I have a well, and I can later worry about getting ovens. I think that's I think that's the right move. Have you missed the ramblings? No. We can ramble more. I've wound up in an interesting game of Agricola, but we can do a lot more WBC talk afterwards too. Anyhow, the drive went fine. I mean, I did pull over and take a very brief nap around midday because I was just starting to feel it, but it actually worked pretty well after that. So, I mean, I didn't get back till like almost 11 o'clock. So, but that's just how it goes for me. So, like, I don't know. I made it. I'm definitely a little tired and fatigued today again too, but like, not that bad. So, anyhow, yeah, I made it back. So, seems like you've made it back too. So, hope your flights went well. Teal is actually not opening build because they love me. They just love me and they want me to get to grow again. You have to build teal. I'm 100% building if you don't. Oh my god, amazing. Okay, well, sure. I guess I win this game. Being allowed to build grow here is insane. It's even more insane if I actually get 7 food, but I will build grow and just eat those 2 sheep. That's fine. Wow, teal takes the stone oven on me. I mean, what? That's fine. Like, whatever. I mean, if I don't get an oven, it's a little annoying, but I can live with a hearth. Like, if I'm being allowed to build grow here, I have too many actions. I might just get 7 food anyhow, because I don't know that my opponents need to take 7 food. 7 food's a pretty insane action, though, so, like, people should be taking it. Like, I should not be getting 7 food and then grow, but I also shouldn't be allowed build grow at all, so, like, whatever. Whatever. Teal blocked by Pioneer, the audacity. I mean, that's true. I did get Pioneer blocked, but Den Builder gets played by purple. Okay. I mean, yeah, so they took 2 clay because they were going to renovate. And then they're going to den build. I mean, okay, please give me 7 food bottom feeding. Like, Playmaker doesn't really want to bottom feed here. They want to do other stuff, but also like allowing me to bottom feed's pretty insane. But yeah, they're just gonna take 4 food. Okay, I get to go 7 food into grow. Thanks everybody. Good games, good games. I mean, I shouldn't be that locked up yet, but I'm gonna end round 7 with growing first and third. I have a well, and I have this sick Pioneer Outrider combo to abuse my actions with. Like, I don't know. I definitely can be beat from this position, but like I have a huge lead. This is very like insane. Only way to lose is mayor candidate. I mean, actually, kind of. That part's true. If I'm somehow F it up and I allow myself to get fence blocked, and like now not only do I get points from fences, but I can't dump all of my wood, that would wreck me. Yeah. Am I allowed to have a joinery with this version of Mayor Candidate, though, right? During scoring, I get a negative point for each wood in my supply. But the joinery actually consumes resources in this version, right? So I actually still am allowed to joinery. Okay, that's cool. That's also good to remember. But I don't know that I want a joinery, to be clear. I just am trying to make sure that, yeah, I don't F up. Don't F it up, but I agree. I think Fing it up is the only way that I lose this game, so... but we'll see. Anyhow, you saw on Facebook somebody said they met someone that had come to WBC from the UK. It made you jealous. Yeah, there are a handful of international attendees that come to WBC. I mean, it's not a lot, but it does exist. Clay pressure is kind of high this game, by the way. Clay is kind of annoyingly pressured, but you know, whatever. The board is going to get less exciting real fast. I think I'm playing Chick Stable for a Clay here. I don't well, Clay Pipe. Am I actually going to be triggering Clay Pipe consistently enough to play Clay Pipe? I don't know that I am. I think I just play Chick Stable. Chick Stable's guaranteed 4 food. I mean, Clay Pipe's probably 4 food, but Clay Pipe's going to want me to do slightly weird things to make it work, and I just don't need the pressure. I'm totally fine here just doing, like, relatively normal things from here. I do want to plow pretty aggressively, because getting grain in the ground at the end of stage 3 looks really good. So if I could get 2 plows so I could actually get the grain going, that looks pretty good. I really just need to take wooden plows, very high priority. Like, I am going to struggle to get to my, like... We always talk about sealing and stuff, but, like, I don't really need to worry about sealing. I already have a well, and more importantly, I have a full farmer. Like, all I have to do from here is get to a very pretty farm. I probably have time to renovate to stone. I don't need to worry about more off-board points. I need to worry about how do I efficiently make a farm. And the answer is, like, I have to very aggressively plow and take wood, because, like, those things should be getting taken by the rest of the table somewhat too. And those are the things that are actually, I think, under the most, like, contested status. But anyhow, when you get Europeans to come to rural Pennsylvania, you know it must be good. Yeah. 19 countries, you think they said? Yeah. Yep, there was some stuff. One of the diplomacy players was from Switzerland. They run one of the big European diplomacy championships, and Tom, the GM, goes over there for that tournament some years. And anyhow, yeah, he convinced that guy to come over and hang out at WBC for a bit. So I did admittedly play diplomacy with this. Yeah, I think it was Switzerland, but. Anyhow, Gonzo, WBC was really good. I had just a blast at WBC, as I always do. Tons of friends, just tons of great games. I mean, I love basically everything about WBC. Like, I love the people and the friends that I make. I also, though, just truly do love, like, competitively playing board games in a atmosphere where there's, like, not really stakes besides, you know, just like a plaque. Like, I don't know. The games are just actually very enjoyable, but they're also, like, there's a bunch of people playing them, like, you know, as hard as they can to win, but also very few people actually take the results too seriously, and that's kind of the perfect effing blend of what I actually want. But it's just magical, right? Like, I find WBC magical, and anyhow, yeah, it was great. Results-wise, WBC was fine. I got 3 seconds, a fourth, and a sixth across events that I played in. That leads me to have probably like 66 laurels. That's a pretty good year. I mean, last year I got 136 because things went stupidly well, but I literally took third place overall last year. That was like never really going to happen, so... okay, 4 wood or plow is actually kind of a decision. I think I have to take 4 wood. I eventually need fences, and it looks like the wood is about to like stop coming in droves. But like plows are also pretty pressured. However, critically, my main opponent is definitely red, and red cannot justify blocking me on plow all that much when they have field watcher and private teacher. But they absolutely also want more wood. So I think I can't allow them to possibly wood pressure me more. Purple also, though, needs plows with this field doctor stuff, but okay, they're just going to Reno. That makes sense. Anyhow, yeah, my WBC results-wise, though, was like merely only okay. I actually think I was slightly unlucky on average at WBC. I think I probably scored slightly below what like my average laurel count would be for a year based on how well I did across a lot of events and how a lot of my semifinals broke. But as I said early in the stream, if I think 66 was a slightly below average year for me, I think that still suggests that I've put a ton of work into a lot of games and gotten very good. And I don't know. I think it reflects that I've kind of got where I wanted to be. Several years ago, I made a serious commitment to like learn a ton of WBC games and try to get very good at them and min-max my schedule to like maximize my chances. And anyhow, yeah, I think that still kind of shows off here with the results. So I'm relatively pleased, but you'd love to see the WBC diplomacy dynamic. Yeah, it was actually really fun. I was so glad that I finally played diplomacy at WBC and committed to it. I did have to give up Navigador, but that was like the only event that I actually had to give up in order to play all 3 rounds of diplomacy. And I did wind up taking second place overall in diplomacy. I lost by a single supply center overall to Dan Elkins, so like 1 victory point away from the tournament win. But, I mean, turns out Dan was pretty good at the game too, so like that's just how it goes. But that's part of why I say it was like a mildly unlucky year. Like I lost to Agricola by a single point and I was 4th seat. Like, okay. And then I lost the diplomacy tournament by a single supply center. Like, there's so many vagaries of, like, either of those tournaments. I mean, there's also so many ways those tournaments go worse, to be fair. So, like, it's a little bit inappropriate to, like, look at it as, like, oh, I lost, 30-some laurels on 2 victory points. But, I mean, there were also a lot of semifinals that I, like, had great chances into and things didn't go quite right. But there were easy ways for my tournament year to go worse though too, so I shouldn't get too cocky. But anyhow, plow is what I said was like plows and wood were the most important things. So I gotta just plow here. It does mean that I'm letting red take 3 sheep, but like I'm taking single pig because of Pioneer Outrider. So like I don't really care that they get 3 sheep all that badly. I guess my food I still am kind of worried about long term. I really want a clay pile next round because clay oven still exists. Yeah, clay oven still exists. Clay oven would be so good. If I could build clay oven and then bake 2 fields and bake, that means that I would get 2 uses out of the clay oven. That'd be really good. I do think I'm supposed to take 3 stone, even though I have mayor candidate. Like 3 stone looks pretty insane too. Just to build some more majors and stuff. Like I do have a lot of actions and I don't have much else to do with them. So I'll take 3 stone, even though it's a little bit nerve wracking with mayor candidate. Like just what else am I doing on this board? Like my opponents don't need this, and I should be able to spend it. I always have a stone weir in hand too to help alleviate it, and I definitely want to rent out a stone. But as somebody said earlier in the stream, I do think the only way I lose this game is if I mess up. Mayor candidate. So definitely have to be on the watch for messing up mayor candidate. What do I need? I don't think I'm building another room, which means I have all the reed I need to renovate. But maybe I'm taking reed for. There could be an argument for taking reed for. Could be an argument to take reed for BMW, but I think that's a distraction. I think BMW is a distraction. I think stone is mostly a distraction at the moment. taking a clay, I'm gonna probably get 4 clay, and then I want 3 more clay for clay oven. So I want 7 clay this game. I need 6 more clay. Honestly, maybe it's clay food. Say like I try to get 4 clay first action. I take clay food. I take veg with a clay food, and then I have all the clay I need, and I just am done with clay. That actually sounds. Oh, and I feel full farmer actually gives me a clay too. I think I have just an. I think I actually clay food. Wood food is actually pretty defensible too. Like I just need more wood. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I would like to take 4 clay, although does teal need clay? No, teal needs reed so they can actually build and grow rooms. But yeah. Purple wants plow. I actually need to plow first action. I need to plow first action. Purple should be plowing very aggressively so they can use their field doctor. Although they also want clay because they played Potter's Market. That sucks. That sucks. I really want both of these, and I don't think I get both. But it's an early growth game. Things are going to be contested, so I like whatever. That's just how it is. I guess I just plow and I take veg clay food and I build a clay oven anyhow. I think that's probably what I wind up doing here. Plowing is just so good. How did I do in Beyond the Sun? Yeah, so Beyond the Sun is one that I think I got kind of unlucky in. I made the final table for Beyond the Sun. I bid to go first, but the techs and the events that I hit were not very synergistic or good, and the players in second and third seats found a much smoother game off of the texts and the events that they got to research. Now, I do think second seat did some very clever stuff in my game, and they wound up taking second overall. But like third seat did stuff that I think I would have done in their seat, and like I just wound up bidding for first, expecting to get to like ride that wave of like stuff, and I just didn't get the stuff. I got the couple of events that don't go anywhere, but like somewhere like on the order of like 10% of the time when you're first seat, like you just find March of Progress as your first event, and like you just start rolling. But like that's not what happened, right? So like I mean that's how it goes. But like it was the worst game of Beyond the Sun I've played in quite a while. But partly due to like just the techs and the events I found did not accelerate me. So I found it to be one of the more unlucky Beyond the Sun things I had. With that said, I do also think I moved my ships in a way that helped second seat accelerate a bit too fast. So like I think also like there was a good amount of bad luck and there was a small bit of bad play. But I took fourth in Beyond the Sun. So like still cool because I made the finals after practicing a lot. But a little disappointing. However, I will say that the Beyond the Sun players in the final were also stronger than I expected. I mean, I should have known. Like, it's still WBC. It's still a bunch of competitive gamers. Like, there are a lot of good players roaming around. But I thought I might be a bit further ahead of the field than it turned out I was. What's that single pig doing? Purple's starving. That single pig is because Purple's starving. Okay, cool story. Purple is going Ock into Ock. Tree cutter gives them more wood, but they already fenced. What is this? What incarnation is Ock into Ock? I don't know, team. This is wild stuff. But I might get 4 clay into clay oven into so bake, which would be pretty cool. I do not get 4 clay into that stuff. Playmaker takes the clay, presumably to build a clay room. Okay, fair enough. Did I prompt by the Ark? I did not. I did not go toward the Ark Nova demo. I'm sorry. I could talk about my week a little bit more in detail at the end of this game. I get 3 wood here. I mean, getting 3 wood here is pretty great. I go 3 wood, veg grain, clay oven. Not clay oven, just so bake. I just so bake and bake some grain in here anyhow. Probably okay. Late Stork's Nest. I mean, it does look kind of Stork's Nesty, but they didn't even play, like, they didn't play an Ock yet, and they don't have the reed to be building rooms. So, like, they're not building rooms at the moment with what I see. But I agree, it could be like a Stork's Nest thing. But anyhow, give me 3 wood. Oh, also hilarious. Wait a sec. Do I even want to so bake? I thought I wanted to so bake. But what if I don't want to sow bake? What if I am actually playing freaking Mud Patch and breeding my pigs on my field tiles? I guess how am I feeding if I do that? Not that well. Like, I really do want a clay oven. Like, veg, grain, clay food here into a clay oven seems really good. I mean, 3 wood seems really good, but let's get a clay oven and then see where we go from there. Or at least let's try to get a clay oven and see where we go from there. We might not actually get the clay oven. I also really would like to get my clay for Renos. Like, the Reno queue doesn't look too bad because 2 people are in clay already at least. But again, mayor candidate does have me slightly spooked about things. Purple has an Ock, an Animal Catcher. Animal Catcher, there's so many animals in this game. Oh my god, so many animals in this game. Although nobody's played some of the cards that add the most. I get to start player into 6 wood. I guess it's hand card, so it's like, it's still 6 wood, but god, do I ever SP into 4 clay though? Like, for real. That's so disgusting. I don't think so. I think I have to take the wood, but like, ugh. Is purple not just starving? They have a land surveyor. So purple can... Oh, purple is absolutely starving. Did they forget they have an act? Oh no, purple has an action left. Purple has an action left. Purple has an action. Their person is super small on Den Builder. It's one of those super annoying things. It's hard to see that they have a family member. But purple has an action, and that action is clearly Day Laborer. In order to buy animals and eat all of them. Yeah, it looks like they're out of actions, but they're not. But they're definitely day laboring, so like I think I'm allowed to go clay oven into start player 6 wood, but like I also could just go clay oven into sow bake and let purple have another big wood pile and I take 4 clay. Yeah, that's pretty ugly. I should start player and take that away. And again, I can SP the mud patch and breed pigs. I can go clay oven, SP. Oh, okay, there's not 6 wood. Purple's gonna make sure anyhow. Well, even better. Now I do feel good about clay oven into sow bake because I don't need to SP here. I don't care. I mean purple's gonna get 4 wood and like that is quite good. I still need a lot of wood. I do need some stuff, but getting grain in the ground here is pretty damn excellent. And it means that my feeding for next stage is solved too. So and it means my field's clear before the final harvest, right? If I sow right now, these fields are open again right at the end of the game, so 10 food's not a bad consolation. Yeah, like correct. I'm getting 10 food and getting my grain multiplying and like yeah, it's just it's quite good. I do really want that 4 clay pile so I can just renovate. Like Reno Hearth looks totally fine also, by the way. Like again, wooden plows are though still very high on my list of what I would like. I'd like to fence relatively soon. And next round there is so much, like next round there's a lot of good action. So it's a little bit sad that I'm not starting. But I mean, teal still needs to grow, right? Yeah, teal still needs to grow. Teal's in a bad spot. Playmaker pretty clearly wants to renovate, but they don't have the read to build rooms. I don't really know what Playmaker does. I guess Playmaker could take 4 wood and then take like Reedstone food and build and try to grow. Like Playmaker has the makings of a pretty good farm, but Playmaker like does not have a way to like make significant points, and they still have less actions than I do. So I don't know. We'll see. I still feel like I'm in a pretty damn strong spot because I am, but we'll see. I might take 4 clay first action here though. As much as I want to keep taking 3 wood and plow, I might need 4 clay even more. Because continuing to get clay blocked is actually just really annoying, and like just renovating Hearth is a totally fine last action. I mean, a totally fine last action is also cow doing outrider stuff on cow, but like I'm going to take 4 clay first action and feel awful about it. Like plow pressure looks high. Should I just plow? I should probably just plow, to be honest. It seems so silly to be taking this clay, but also Reno is so important to me because the stone is so easy to get. Yeah, I'm gonna take the clay, but I don't like this. I don't love having to take clay at that priority. And yeah, like it helps purple get closer to their field doctor and stuff, but Hopefully I get 3 wood back. I mean, honestly, there's not a super strong reason I should. Like, Playmaker should keep taking wood, but they're not going to. Okay, well, that's lucky. Playmaker is, it looks like they're going for a Storks, but I just don't understand how they're building rooms for the Storks. But playing Ox not on grain plow Ox is also just so weird to me. They have a Scythe Worker. Okay. Like, that's cool and fun and all, but I guess it makes the greening plan that much easier to hit because your field's clear, but oh my god, and teal blocks the grain plow. I love it. Give me 3 wood, absolutely all day, every day. Give me wood, wood, wood. Let's go. How does Mayor Candidate work with joinery? I believe it works because joinery you have to consume the wood in revised. So like I think it's okay. But I agree that I've not like actually confirmed that. So yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't played with Mayor Candidate a ton. I don't actually know if I've played Mayor Candidate on BGA yet, but pretty sure the wood is consumed like it's supposed to. Yeah, it's supposed to be. Oh wow, I got Pioneer blocked. Oh no. Pioneer has been blocked. I mean, and by blocked I mean Pioneer has been what? 6 procs thus far? Yeah. Pioneer has been silly. Outrider's been silly. That means Outrider's also been 6, right? Or no, 5. Outrider can't, yeah, sorry, Pioneer procs itself in this version, but yeah, anyhow, very cool stuff. I do think I'm just renovating to a hearth here. I like Reno Hearth. Just, I mean, I could renovate to joinery or something, but again, I think that's dangerous. I think just Reno Hearth. Be flexible on my food production for a while. I don't know what my last action is. Um, don't know what my last action is here, though. I don't love my choices. I guess I could fence 7. Fence 7 is actually maybe... Oh, or I could just Pigswill. I could Pigswill. I could SP a grain for Pigswill into 3 wood, and I don't actually hate Fence 12 this game. Like, Fence tight, like, I'll have a bunch of unused space, but I have a full farmer, so, like, Fence 12 is kind of okay. Yeah, let's just SP, actually. It's time to start, player. Like, 3 wood and plow are the only actions that actually, like, matter. So... Like, for real, 3 wood and plow are the only actions that matter. I think I'm supposed to take 3 wood, so I'm allowed to fence, but like, wow, the plows are going to get so tight after that. The plows are going to get so tight after that, but like, I get my fences out of the way. I really like getting my fences out of the way. I'm a bit limited on animal capacity if I do this. I am kind of limited on animal capacity if I fence like this. Why pay a grain instead of 2 food? I have a lot of grain. I'm anticipated doing more Outrider things still. Which, by the way, I probably should SP because Pioneer Outrider super wants me to take whatever flips next round, so I might just re-up start. Like, just SP Mud Patch here for another free pig, and just, like, it's just, like, totally fine. But I also should probably try to fence into the sheep is a pretty good line, too. But honestly, hitting growth or plow sow with Outrider Pioneer is pretty insane. You think a grain is almost like paying 5 food? The issue is I don't have enough bakes. There's no way I have enough bakes this game is the main reason. Like, grain is not 5 food due to the limitation that I don't know that I actually want to take this space ever again. So like, I actually think most of my food is going to be clay ovened. It's possible some of the grain gets baked in a hearth, like I bake one more time, but that means that the grain is at best 3 food. But like, there's a chance that I never bake again. Like, I have a hearth now and I'm trying to set up breeding animals. So, and speaking of setting up breeding animals, I think I'm supposed to fence and try to get the sheep. I mean, purple still needs food, but maybe they block the pigs. Start player is pretty dang good too, but fences are so good here, especially with full farmer. Wait a sec, I get the pig first? That's actually annoying. That's annoying. Yeah, I do have to get it first. I don't have room for it. Okay, well, this is less good. I guess thank God for Mud Patch giving me another pig when I'm eventually ready to SP for it. You've been annoyed by that. Yeah, it follows the rest of the rules. It really follows the rest of the rules. So like it makes sense to me actually after thinking about it. So like whatever. But yeah, it's just it's a little annoying because yeah, I would rather it work the other way. There is finally the field doctor. That is like the latest field doctor I've ever seen get played. Like, but I mean, I guess Den Builder helps make it easier. But like, why did purple not just plow super aggressively early? Why did they even take 2 reed if they weren't going to build a wood room? I guess they took the 2 reed to renovate with Den Builder. Their game is still okay, but I think they just sequenced it like really poorly. But yeah, Den Builder Field Doctor is actually pretty good. But yeah, I think they're supposed to have plowed much faster. They have Land Surveyor for crying out loud, right? They just have a Land Surveyor that they could have just got up to 2 food really early, but they just like refused to plow when they should have been. But teal is gonna build and grow. I get 3 sheep here, or I get start player. I'm really tempted to start player Mud Patch and hope the sheep come back one more time, but that's pretty greedy. It's pretty greedy, but also like it probably works. Like Playmaker would rather take pigs than block my sheep, and purple would rather day labor than take 3 sheep. I think. I don't know that these things are true. Let's not get fancy. Let's just get the 3 sheep. This is so unclear though, because like whatever flips next round is so good for me. All right, no, let's screw it. Whatever flips for me is so good for me. Let's 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 do it. This is still SP a breeding pair anyhow, so like let's SP a breeding pair. And let's just assume we get the sheep. But if I don't get the sheep, I can take single cow and then later play automatic water trough after playing field doctor. Oh, also purple is growing. Duh, purple is growing, not teal. Okay, okay. So I just have to avoid Playmaker taking the sheep. I think that's pretty easy. Playmaker indeed renovates. Love it. Get that Reno queue out of the way. Absolutely get out of the Reno queue, please. Playmaker has muddy puddles, which is why we took so much clay. Okay, that's just not that good when you already have a bunch of animals. Although it's pretty good because you can get the cow. Okay, they can get the cow. They're going to be breeding cows. Okay, no, that is pretty good. But again, Playmaker has like an almost completed farm, and they're just like out of points. So I like that. I do need to make sure to get 2 more stones so I can actually do a stone reno and dump all the stone. So I do need to worry about that, but it's not that hard to do. Not that hard to do. It's not that easy to do either, but this looks like a pretty easy win, especially if growth flips. If growth flips, it looks very smooth. Even if plow so flips, though, I think it's pretty damn smooth. Getting the sheep here is just, yeah, like really beautiful. Like I'm breeding multiple pairs of animals. I have great crops going. I still have, again, like a healthy amount of offboard points. I have a full farmer that's gonna be like full farmer's 4 bonus points here. Like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Um, yeah, this game looks pretty smooth. I'm so glad that I'm getting to just do this Pioneer Outrider stuff and it's actually like working and the game broke in our favor. Um, this private teacher field watchman had me a lot more worried, but they really ran out of anything like resembling good ox, which is kind of baffling to me because I got things that I consider pretty good and playable throughout the draft. So I'm actually gonna probably peek at the draft after this game because like this seems like such a great first 2 picks, and then it feels like they just wound up with like pretty wrong picks to follow it up. But maybe I was taking everything good away from them after that. I honestly don't know, but it seems like something went awry. Plow so flips, that's a bit disappointing, but I mean, I'm still taking it. Oh my god, I can hand cart a stone. Oh, that's actually incredible. Actually incredible. I get to hand cart a stone, and now I get to take a stone food pioneer. So I have my Reno parts without having to actually take actions to gather them. That's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Better plant some veggies. That seems pretty good. All right. Well, that was pretty awesome. I might just SP Nada for growth. Like SP Nada for growth again. Like whatever flips, it comes with a food resource and grain on top of just being an excellent action. I get 2 cows. I'm getting 2 cows. You guys are just handing me 2 cows. Okay, I'm gonna need stables. I'm gonna need stables for full farmer. Gonna need some stables. Yep, they're just handing me 2 cows too. Why not? All right. I mean, yeah, I accept. I mean, I obviously accept. But surezies. All right. Don't I SP Stone Weir and Pioneer for stone again? Oh yeah, that's actually totally an option too. Yeah, that's definitely an option. It's very much an option. I kind of do want wood really badly for stables now, but without a grain payoff other than food, their game isn't too scary. Like green plant's okay, but they really need a grain to point converter or a big fam to use up the food. Yeah, I mean I agree. Their game's like not that scary because they don't actually have a great payoff, and the food is actually like they don't actually have that good of food. Even then, like 4 grain into 9 food is essentially like you get to bake a bunch of grain in a fireplace. Like okay, sure. Like I mean, they're still doing pretty well, to be clear. Like they're at 32, like they're doing what they can, but I just think they're running hard into points and like I also like my score again is like weird, but mayor candidate is giving me -4 points at the moment. But like clearly, as soon as I renovate, that -4 turns into a +4. So like I'm really at 40 after renovating. I still have a 4 point full farmer hiding, and I still have like a bunch more actions to do things with. So crudite gets played. That's fine. I think I literally do SP for growth because like what else is there to do? And indeed, SP Stone Weir for like is just too funny. Like, okay, there's just a free point, and then I just get to pioneer a stone back. Actually, I don't even have to pioneer a stone back. I'm gonna hand cart a stone again. I'm gonna literally hand cart a stone. I'm gonna I'm gonna pioneer a wood. To be honest, I think I'm totally pioneering a wood for some stable help. Is what it looks like. Because again, why would this game not just be fantastic? So I mean, I might not get 3 stone. Like, let's be clear, I might not get to handcart stone. It looks like I'm going to handcart stone, but playmaker maybe takes 3 stone here because I don't know what else they're doing. Teal should be taking a reed stone food at some point, you'd think, but I mean, teal's just so out of this game. Doesn't have fences. Purple's also like purple. Oh, purple's building fences now. Okay, and then they can start day laboring to get their animals. Um, Maybe purple can kind of play this game, but like it's really again, it's been red versus me for a long time, and like it looks like I'm gonna get it. Wow, and they just take their veg. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think I totally get to handcart another stone. So this handcart, even though I wasn't convinced like quite how good it was gonna turn out, handcart has given me a wood and some stone. And yeah, it's been legit. I'm literally taking 2 wood because I would like stables. And I am also running into my point ceiling, to be fair. Like, I am actually going to build about as much of a farm as I can build. But it's still not. I don't actually have ceiling issues. Like, I don't really have issues. I'm not running out of ways to make points all that badly. So it's fine. You hate handcart when you play it, it gives you shit, but every time you see it hit the table, you're jealous. Yeah, I mean, I will grant that handcart is so variable in like how useful it is or isn't, but like, wow, like handcart just giving me stone these last couple rounds, coupled with yeah, it gave me 1 or 2 wood. I think it gave me 1 clay. Like it's just worked very well. But also, God, just this Pioneer Outrider, like, oh, way too fun. This Pioneer Outrider game, way too fun. Pioneer has now been 8 procs, right? Yeah, 8 uses of Pioneer. Just a 2 reed, 2 stone, 1 wood, 3 clay, 8 food card. And then Outrider has been a 7 grain card. Like, yes, please. I would like to plow. Do I somehow get plow here? Is Teal gonna punt plows? That'd be cool. Be cool if Teal just punted plows. Also, 3 woods. I could just build stables though. Actually, that's even better. Truly a pioneer in all senses of the word, pioneering this win. Yeah, I would love 3 wood into stables. Please just let me 3 wood into stables. Please plow. Actually, yeah. Sorry, you need plows. Oh yeah, they are gonna plow. Okay, yeah, fantastic. 3 wood into stables it is. Whee! Let's go. These stables are very good because they're just pure, like they're 3 points themselves, but I think they're also each an extra point of animals. So I think this is actually going to be 6 points worth of stables. So that's pretty good. At this point, Pioneer would be playable for just the food. Correct. Like Pioneers give me 8 food. Like that's fine. Honestly, even Outrider. You can even say the same about Outrider. I played Outrider for 7 food in the form of 1 grain each. Like, honestly, that is like technically playable. It's like relatively bad. It's getting close to bean counter levels if we consider it that. But still, yeah, this Pioneer Outrider has like actually really worked and been very strong, and it's been very fun. I do need to make sure I'm not getting Reno blocked, by the way. None of my opponents are setting up to Reno, so like it looks relatively safe. But probably I should just go stables Reno. I mean, I'm going to be Renoing Nada, but Reno Nada just to not F it up is probably correct. Because, yeah, I don't want to get Reno blocked next round somehow. Like, again, it looks really unlikely, but also it would be totally game losing. Well, it might not even be game losing. It's possible I could get Reno blocked and it'd still be okay, but I also need to not get stable blocked now that I took 6 more wood, right? Like, I'm at 31 points with a -10 on mayor candidate, so. Okay, is anybody else stable blocking me? Playmaker literally can't because they're out of stables. Purple's not. Teal should not be building a room here. Yeah. I think I am just renovating then. I'm a little too spooked about getting Reno blocked, so I'm gonna just Reno Nana, and then I'm gonna assume that I get stables. Because it sure looks like I get stables, so. But yeah, so I build stables, and I'm at 48 points, and I haven't even played Full Farmer yet, and I'd be breeding more. Like, I'm gonna be cruising to like mid to upper 50s here, it looks like. Maybe my opponents let me stay start player, and I just get Plow So for like absolutely insane value and no reason, but um, at worst, it looks like Teal will SP, and I'll still get Plow then probably. So, uh, yeah, this game looks wildly good. Actually, I did not expect the game to go this well. I knew that Pioneer Outrider was more than pure memes. I knew Pioneer Outrider would actually be like pretty good, but the fact that I was allowed to just build the first room and grow in round 5 without having to start player at all meant that, yeah, and that I got to grow in round 7, right? Like, the game just spiraled out of control. Pioneer Outrider is such a monster if you have so many actions, because now you have a really boosted last action. So like my family growths are more valuable than normal because my last action is not having to settle for like 2 wood or crummy things. It gets to settle for insane value. So just a really cool game here, actually. Remember the Full Farmer wood? Any plan to use Water Trough? Oh, yeah, I forgot that Full Farmer's giving me a wood. No, I totally forgot about that. I guess I probably try to play Water Trough because of Full Farmer is giving me a wood. But I also have 5 actions next round, and like I really don't have use for 5 actions. So I guess food. I am gonna need some food. I'm not fully fed, and eating my animals does decrease my points. So I mean, I guess I'm playing Water Trough for effectively 2 food and a point, which is like a reasonable action, honestly. Um, okay. Um,
Yeah, we're hopefully breeding 3 more points of animals though, which is already 51, and then I full farmer still for 4 points, so 55, and I looks like I might get plow sow to 58. It's pretty good. Yeah, mildly snivelly. I'm hoping that I'm not like particularly sick, but going to a gaming con and not getting enough sleep, always likely to be a little bit. Are the ramblings happening before, after, during Agricola? Yes, yes, yes. all the above. I just been rambling however I want. If anybody has specific questions, I mean, go for it. Like, this game doesn't have that much interesting to talk about anymore, to be totally honest. Like, I've pretty clearly won this by a lot with Pioneer Outrider and just getting a lot of growths. So, and also, as always, like staying relatively fed. But I mean, the early game broke so stupidly well. Like getting 7 food in round 7 was also like just so good. But purple really took a lot of dubious actions in the early game and did not get their fields going fast enough. And then teal also took a lot of dubious actions. So being on a game plan of like doing relatively normal things, I mean, Pioneer Outrider is slightly not normal, but like I didn't really do that much unusual with Pioneer Outrider. Like I built a fireplace and I grew, and then I just like took a pig and took a veg. Like these are not like single pigs a little bit unusual, but for the most part though, yeah, like I haven't had to do anything too weird, and I do just stay start player, so I'm just getting plow sow. So I get to plow sow for points, and I'm not actually. I already have 8 grain, so I get to plow sow for points and even more food. It's 3 points plow so like yeah, this is good. Anyhow, did I successfully call my shot? I did not. I got a 4th place in Beyond the Sun, so like I mildly did. Uh, I at least called a game that I got to the finals in this year, so that was certainly better than the previous year where I made 8 final tables but still picked the wrong game. But I did not win my event. But my teammate did, so it's possible that my team has repeated as champions. Everybody on my team actually did make the finals of their game, so it's possible that all of my teammates actually put up team points, although it's slightly less clear because some of my teammates were playing in events that turned to have slightly smaller attendance, and it gets all the math and calcs get all a little weird at that point. But anyhow, uh, was there a dominant diplomacy country in the WBC meta? Well, so only 10 tables get played, so I really would not. I really would not declare anything too reliable from 10 games worth of results. The best performing country this year was Turkey, but like I don't really think that was specifically due to the WBC meta at all. I think it's just like it's just how the vagaries of 10 games broke. Like there was really nothing. Oh hey, I can take like a bunch of different resource options, but don't take the stone. The stone is not good here. Uh, yeah, the stone looks like it's a trap. The reed is kind of a trap. I guess the clay lets me what? It literally doesn't matter. I'll take a reed from Reed Bank in case anybody's trying to BMW. Taking the reed, I think, is the most likely thing that costs somebody a point. Uh, but this endgame does look like mayor candidate is going to slightly prevent me from getting more points because I could otherwise take stone and reed and build BMW potentially as actions, but there's too much stone actually. But also like part of why mayor candidate is so good is because it can accelerate your game pretty nicely, and I mean that's really what it did for me. Like being able to take a 2 stone 2 wood action accelerated my game into well and some extra wood improvements and faster access to a 4th room, and so yeah, it just spiraled for me. So anyhow, maybe down is not the right word. Maybe the one that did better than average. Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah. The answer is Turkey did the best at WBC this year. Uh, there were 2 Germanys that did pretty well. Most countries had some pretty good results. Like Italy had a board top. Uh, Germany had a board top. Turkey had a board top. France and England had some pretty good results. In general, Austria's struggled in the tournament, but I don't think that was entirely I don't think I was like that was partly like I did see quite a bit of Austria like playing decisions I didn't agree with, including in my last game. Austria was up to 7 centers and was at a pretty good position, but made a pretty couple of dubious decisions in my opinion. Like if you put me in their seat, I think I maybe am winning or at least getting second place, and instead they faltered all the way to third. Uh, there was really no good Russia this year. Russia struggled a lot across the 10 games. But this, again, I also somewhat am dubious about some of the Russia play I saw. So, but again, it also just depends. So, like, whatever. How did my predictions go? So, WBC is annoying in that it does not really release it doesn't really release the data from a lot of that stuff for quite a while. Well, I get plowback. I mean, I'll take plow and then I'll play full farmer. Also, two cows really feeds me quite nicely, which I do need food. But like, I'll take plow. Other people could have nice animals. There's so many animals in the game because of that. The animal catcher, the muddy puddles. One of the real skills of Agricola is reading the texture of the game, and like this draft had so much animal help, like there was always going to be quite a few animals. So just picking up on those things, though, I think is part of what has given me and Andrew and some others like big edges in diplomacy and like reacting. And just that's what experts do in this game is like being able to react to that. But anyhow, looping back. Yeah, WBC is not going to post a ton of the information. Like it takes quite a while, which is annoying. Wow, I do still have two cows as an option. But I still have two pigs. All right, whatever. Let's just play full farmer. Like automatic water troughs, food. I don't know. I'm not doing calcs. I'm playing pure vibes based diplomacy or not diplomacy. I'm playing pure vibes based Agricola here because like we're gonna vibe our way to a 60 pretty much regardless. So but anyhow, yeah. But there is still like some knowledge. My predictions of teams I think are somewhat accurate. We do have a winners list this year, so we know every winner of every tournament. For the most part, I think I was correct to call people out for calling their shot at silly events, like calling your shot in Splendor and Sagrada, and a lot of those games did not go that well for a lot of people. The one person who proved me wrong was Matthew Tyson. I argued that calling your shot in Raw the dice game was also pretty dubious because there's a giant field and it's a dice game. But he's long argued that the field is like makes a lot of weird decisions and that the game has some skill. And well, anyhow, he did effing go and get first. So he put up the most points for his team probably. But also, I'm going to continue to argue that like just because it happened does not in any way mean that like he was 100% right or whatever, right? Like, right? He probably is right that he had above average shots in Raw the Dice game, etc. But like, also, yeah, I called out a lot of people for like I called out a lot of people in terms of like I don't think this is the right game to pick, or I don't think it's high skill, or I don't think it's that likely, and there's only one exception. So like that's kind of what you'd expect though. You'd expect one person to have got lucky and gone through, even if most of them were probably not going to. So I think my predictions on a whole were relatively good, but we'll see more in depth later when I have more time to do analysis and actually see the full results. Because the one thing I don't know for the team tournament are all the second and third and fourth places finishes and stuff too. So like it's really hard to evaluate at the moment. But anyhow, Pioneer makes one sheep and one pig a pretty reasonable action, so it's not much of an efficiency hit. It's the choice of resources, great tempo, yes. The person who won diplomacy won it on the back of France and Austria. Yes. I got second place in diplomacy this year off of my results as Germany and France. The France game of diplomacy was so wild. Germany and England like totally locked me out for a long time, but I've long known that the answer if you're getting like locked out is you have to just try to push a unit somewhere weird. And so like I got a French army over towards Germany and Austria, and then suddenly I had a French supply center in the middle of Austria and got a build, and then everybody was like being friends with me because I have this unit that everybody wants to use, and anyhow, the game got totally destabilized and topsy-turvy, and I managed to sneak my way to a second place when England and Germany had 6 centers each, and I ended at 7. But unfortunately, yeah, my 7 centers meant I was one short of the person who eventually won because they had an 8 center second place, and we both had 10 center first places. So I needed to have found a way to get just one more, but I never did. A veg is a point? Cool. Veg is a point? Is that actually true? Do I have enough food? I currently can eat 4 raw grain, and I can just eat 2 pigs. Perfect. Looks great. All right, so I think I'm ending this game at a 61. This might be like a 61. Uh, pretty sweet game of Agricola here. You don't know diplomacy that well. Player country is randomized mostly. Player country in the tournament is completely randomized, except the rule is you cannot repeat a country in a year. So after I pulled Germany in game 1, I was randomized between the 6 remaining powers for my second game. And then once I had pulled France, my last game, I was randomized amongst the remaining 5 powers that were available to me. So it's mostly random, right? But just no repeats is the tournament rule. So and there's like no bidding or anything. Diplomacy is pretty evenly balanced. I personally have a preference to not play Turkey because I find Turkey pretty boring diplomatically. So I was pretty happy to not get them. I was thrilled to get Germany in game 1. I love the Central nations actually. I love like Germany and Austria because you get to be so embroiled in so many like aspects. But yeah, like I hate Turkey because it's so in the corner. France and England to some extent are also kind of corner nations, but you still get a little more play with some of the other nations. So, anyhow, it seems as a new diplomacy player, it seems like early mistakes from Austria will easily sink them. Yeah, and also like it's not always mistakes. To be clear, like a handful of the Austria players just got unlucky that like their neighbors decided to attack them, and like if for some reason, a bunch of people attack Austria early, like there really is not a lot Austria can do. Whoops, I need to rearrange, do not confirm. Pigs are trying to default to the wrong spot. Full farmer though, you have to be full. You need that to be full. All right. Only a 60, I lied, not 61. All right, just a 60, just a 60. Just a 60. Pretty insane game. I'm really happy to get a 60. This Field Doctor game got really close. Wow. Okay. Well, 47 for Playmaker still. It's not that close. The greeting plan showed up at the end, but yeah, just a 13-point win for me here. Just like really smooth. Just easy game, honestly. Things went just stupidly well, but yeah. Full farmer giving you a win's kind of annoying. You guess I have the trough. Yeah. Did I play trough even? I honestly don't even know. Yeah, casual 60. Yeah, exactly. Casual 60. It just happened. No, I ended with a wood. I guess, yeah, taking a veg at the end was maybe wrong. I was supposed to play trough. I guess it was equivalent. Full farmer giving me a wood was kind of annoying in this case, actually, but I partly, like, whatever. It's totally fine. Dan got first as France and second as Austria. Correct. That is what happened. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, casual 60-point win. It's pretty nice. My computer was actually pretty nice this game too. Got a little laggy there at the end, but only barely. So that was also convenient. Teal just did a lot of things a bit wrong, but they're a new player. This is how it goes. Like it's fine. Purple got way closer than I thought here at the end. I mean, Den Builder Field Doctor is just good, and Animal Catcher pretty legit on its own, but I think they really misplayed some stuff, but I guess with so many animals, Loom is also relatively a monster. Like, Loom Butter Churn is pretty cool, but wow, I mean, with Land Surveyor, like, you gotta just spam the plows faster. Like, why race to Den Builder? Why take early read? Just get those plows done and get the Field Doctor in there. Like, if Purple just focused on plowing faster, like, they would not have allowed me to grow in round 7, and they would have grown in round 7 because they would have already had their fields and Field Doctor played, and they would have just grown. And then they probably could muscle their way back into the growth queue with Den Builder. They'd fence faster, and like anyhow, yeah, they have a decent hand and basic good ideas, but yeah, it did not come together. Playmaker did reveal a resource recycler eventually. Like that's a pretty good ock, but I do want to peek at the draft of this game quick. Because I'm just very curious what Playmaker... It feels like Playmaker should have been able to draft better occupations than they got. Like, it just feels like there should have been a little bit more here for them. So, I mean, you first pick Field Watchman, obvious. Wow, you also have a Greengrocer. Wait a sec, Greengrocer doesn't come around? That kind of sucks. Greengrocer not coming around kind of sucks because getting Greengrocer back after getting this private teacher is actually like totally fine. Your veggies are just like free. That would have been pretty nice, but so that's a bit unlucky that gets blocked. But yeah, you get past the private teacher, easy private teacher. I have no notes up to this. Like these first picks are fine, but I now have notes. Scythe worker is like really unnecessary. Like you do not need a scythe worker here. Um, the stork's nest is like kind of cute, and if it was a later growth, you'd be fine. But like just a state worker, right? Like just a free estate worker off of this is like definitely better than scythe worker. Even a cattle whisperer is fine. Dairy crier is also like really legit. Like I really dislike the scythe worker pick. You just do not need it with this hand. They have the fur cutter. Did they play fur cutter? Did I just forget about that? No, they don't take fur cutter actually. They take merchant. I also have very strong feelings about taking merchant here. Um, taking merchant instead of fur cutter is like pretty dubious. It's like very dubious actually. I really don't like the merchant play. I sort of understand the merchant because you're thinking you're going to do Stork's Nest, and so you're not going to have that many ways to play miners and stuff. But the miners you have are not particularly good anyhow. Like I don't think you need merchant. I would not take merchant here. Uh, Animal dealer, tree cutter, fellow grazer are fine. I mean, they do take the tree cutter and eventually play it. I think tree cutter's fine. I'm pretty high on fellow grazer though, but I'm also relatively high on animal dealer. But we've seen a lot of animals, I guess. You don't need animal dealer. Although again, if you had taken fur cutter, like you could just have fur cutter animal dealer, like ugh. But whatever. I don't hate the tree cutter. That one's not that bad. And then yeah, taking resources like wait a sec. Wait a second. Wait a second. But Den Builder doesn't work if you use Field Doctor before. Is that true? Maybe that's true. I didn't pay attention to that. Do you have to Den Builder in this version? Because Den Builder counts as a room and Field Doctor says grow without room? Or does Field Doctor... okay, well, I should go read the cards. You might be right. Maybe they played them in the order they had to, in which case it's actually not that good of a game at all. That's how you interpreted it. You might be right. If that's the case, then I just don't like their game very much. With that said, I have huge notes here. 100%. This is Flax Farmer. 100% you take Flax Farmer here. Like, you get to, on round 2, start getting to go grain, plow, reed, ock. Like, yes, please. Yes, I understand that you have a reed pond and whatever, but Flax Farmer. This is just like 4 or 5 free reed for your game. Like, yes, please. And then Cattle Whisperer is totally fine. Cattle Whisperer is totally playable with this hand. Like, I don't understand how Merchant got played. I don't understand how Scythe Worker got played. Oh, we didn't take Cattle Whisperer. We took Forest Scientist. I mean, okay. Well, I think Red really did a disservice to themselves in the draft. I think Red lost a lot of value in the draft by taking not the right cards. But that's like one of the things. Like Ock playing combos really reward you if you draft well, and then they just don't become that powerful if you're playing cards that are not that good. So, kind of unfortunate that they wound up playing a bunch of cards that were not that good. First pick Animal Catcher, finding no other day labor cards is a bit of a bummer. But yeah, Animal Catcher Loom is, I like those first picks. Alright, Field Doctor, let's read this. Once this game, if you live in a house with exactly 2 rooms surrounded by 4 tiles, you can use any Wish for Children action space, even without room. Yeah, you're probably right that they had a Den Builder first. Yeah, you are correct. You actually have to Den Builder, then Field Doctor. So they played that part right, but, yeah, I, like, really don't like this combo then, actually. Because, like, you have to get grain. You have to just renovate a 2-room house to clay and pay grain food in order to get room so that you can grow, and then you have to then later play Field Doctor to grow again. It's like okay, but it's just like actually really it's not very good. So that's unfortunate. But oh well. Anyhow. Anyhow, that's how it went. Okay, yeah, blabbing just a little more. Let's I'll go peek at my schedule for WBC. I'll do just a couple further minutes of WBC recap, and then maybe we can just kick it over to Lumen. I'm not sure if Lumen's streaming today or not, though. I think much like me, he's slightly not feeling the best, which makes sense because that's how it goes. Okay, let's clear this out. Let's do a quick recap of my week at WBC, and okay, let's clear all the colors. All right. Okay, so day one of WBC, I did decide to greed Through the Ages, but I ran my Through the Ages heat. I played but lost. It did not go well. Well, it didn't go terrible. I took second. I got seated at a three-player table with a person I didn't know, but the person I didn't know turned out to be a very good player from online who was attending their first WBC. And anyhow, they played. I had like no notes. They just played like flawlessly in front of me, and they wound up beating me. They went on to the finals where they did pretty well, although they didn't win. They might have even take third in the finals, but regardless, they played well enough to make the finals. So like, I ran into a very strong player, and the heat just didn't work. So whatever. It's fine. Kind of clunky. Wants early reno. Just Field Doctor by itself seems better. Yeah, that's kind of. I would agree. Ace of Spade. Like with that hand, I think I honestly would just Field Doctor and throw the Dead Builder out the door. Like you have no real reason to want to renovate, and you also have no real good grain source. You're using Pub Owner to generate your grain, and you can't get it in the. You I guess they did sort of get it in the ground before they did because they had two fields and they got in the ground, but I would have preferred them to just Field Doctor and like yeah build up a strong farm and see how it goes. I mean, it turns out it's early growth, so they're probably in trouble anyhow. But yeah. Anyhow, yeah. So the Through the Ages game didn't go very well. Heat one of Agricola. I get a win. I play revised. I sit down at a table with both Lumen and Eric, who's like roughly a 500 rated on BGA. They're both quite good. I mean, Lumen's obviously very good. The Eric guy is also like quite good, but I do get favorable seating position in that the weaker player is in front of me. I don't actually think they gave me massive gifts, but I definitely had some advantage from that. But the real story of that game is like Lumen has a childless, but it turns out to be early growth, so he doesn't get that much food or crops. And then round 7, it's kind of funky in that nobody else has built a room yet besides Lumen grew in 5, and then the fourth player grew in 6. I have room parts and can build, but I decline. Eric also declines to build. This causes Lumen to like build a fourth room that seems kind of dubious, but he thinks he's growing in 8. However, I was rude and had a first pick. I had a first pick recreational carpenter, and I play recreational carpenter knowing that the player in front of me had already started because they needed to get out a key miner. So I basically baited Lumen into building a room that he didn't really want, and then I proceeded to grow in round 8 or something like that, and then Eric also built rooms, forcing Lumen to start player for his growth or get kicked further down the line. Anyhow, it kind of unraveled for Lumen. He didn't have strong feeding, and his room did not get him growth anywhere near as fast as he thought it was going to. And I just had a nice hearth and some other stuff, and got a win at that table. So that was a nice way to start against a pretty strong table. I'm trying to go look at my photo now. That I haven't wrote about that game for a few days, and now I'm mildly forgetting. I'm mildly forgetting what cards I play. I just know that I had good feeding off a hearth. Oh, I also had scales. That was cool. Yeah, it was a scales game, and then I later had a grocer. So I had scales and got a bunch of food from scales. Got food from a hearth, and then I had a late grocer along with
along with a swing plow, I think, or at least some type of plow. And I just got good fences and animals. I plowed late and just built a solid farm with not a ton of offboard, but just a really strong farm, coupled with solid food, led to upper 40s and a win at a table that struggled to feed. So that was that. Heat 2 of Agricola, I also got a win. This table was relatively good also. Ran into another Eric who's quite good. Ran into John Corrado who's pretty good at Agricola. But I'm slightly more familiar with Revised, and I just play a really strong game. I get a pretty cool Moral Crusader hand with Fire Protection Pond, the Well, and Water Gully. Uh, I get to do some nasty Porter Priest Clay Hut Builder bunch of clay rooms type game plan. Built rooms pretty late. Like I don't build rooms until like round 9 or 10, but just so much efficiency off of the fire protection pod, moral crusader, well, water gully, clay hut builder type stuff, and then to top it all off, I have a late animal catcher. So even though I build fences a bit late, I can just animal catcher in 12 and 13 and get incredible animal points. So those games of Agricola went really nicely, so that I was able to go play Five Tribes. Five Tribes, I wind up seated at a table with Nick Henning. Nick Henning is stupidly good at games. We both make a ton of good moves, but we wind up exactly tying, which counts as a win for both of us. So that was a pretty good result for me. Pretty happy with that. So I went and did that. Then I went and played Agizia. This Agizia game wound up just going crazy well. I wound up at a table where there was no other real experts. There was only people that had played a few times but didn't really know what was going on. And I wound up with just like every good card in Agizia. I had the go up river card. I had the draw 2 extra Sphinx cards. I had the get an extra card at the end of the round card. I had the take 1 construction crew card. I had 3 extra 3 quarries, so I was making 12 stone. I had some decent food cards, and on top of that, I wound up with pretty good Sphinx cards. I wound up with full Sphinx cards too. I wound up with Sphinx cards from rounds 1 through 5, so I had 6 total Sphinx cards. Anyhow, just the highest score I think I've ever scored in Agizia or close to it. Things just went incredibly well. So a really good first day overall. My flyer of Through the Ages didn't work, but I got wins in the other things. I did not decide to go play late night events. In fact, I played no late night events this year, which is a bit sad. I do enjoy the late night events and the camaraderie, but unfortunately didn't get around to it this year. But I put this thing on the wrong day. GM breakfast was a different day, but whatever. Agricola semifinals. I get fairly lucky and I win the Agricola semifinals. This is the original edition. I pieced together this cool Storehouse Keeper Peace Worker game plan where I got to take some Reedstone foods and a bunch of grain. I was able to take double grain. I baked a ton of that grain into ovens and oven upgrades. Used all of that food to buy extra resources with Peace Worker and eventually to buy animals with Animal Breeder off of fencing and a mini pasture fencing. My final round is basically perfect. And I'm a bit lucky. There's time pressure at the table, and the person in front of me, my good friend AJ, I think he just totally blunders. He blocks Reno Major when he should block my Reno Fence. And by block, I mean, I'm getting one of the two, but he should have forced me to Reno and Fence as separate actions, but he decided to Reno Major because he had like maybe a 1 point card or something. But if he forces me to take separate actions, I think he wins the table. But due to time pressure, he didn't have enough time to like analyze, and he settled with the time pressure to just Reno Major and max, kind of max his points, and he just evaluated my position and thought I was too far behind. But I got pretty much the ideal round. I also had a first pick Chief's Daughter for 3 points that he didn't know about. So like even if he tried to evaluate my position, like he might not have known that I had a 3 point Ock hiding. That also helped me out. But anyhow, I sneak a win here at 53 or 55 to 53 to 51. So I get into the finals on a slightly lucky break. I mean, I also played very well, but you need to play well. I'd get lucky. So, hey, I have a bot talking to me. Great. Goodbye, bot. Goodbye. But yeah, so I win Agricola semis. Then I go and play an Amun-Re Heat. The Amun-Re Heat goes badly. I I'm not used to players sacrificing a ton. I'm used to people stealing more often, and I still think I navigate the games where people sacrifice a lot a bit poorly. Although I also am pretty dubious that one or two of the people were supposed to sacrifice as much as they did. But anyhow, some of my camels get washed out, so I have less money than I think. My cards are okay, but I wind up not navigating them the best. And anyhow, other players put together smoother games than I was able to, and this just did not go my way, but it's fine. We reschedule the Agricola finals, so then I go to a five tribes heat. The five tribes heat goes okay. I wind up losing slightly to AJ, who is very good at five tribes. But I put up a strong second, so I at least advanced to the semifinals with a first second. But yeah, I lose this game to AJ. I then go play Beyond the Sun. I have a pretty good. There's a one of last year's finalists. Jim is at this table, and he plays very well. But I'm able to just slightly navigate things better than him and get him by a couple of points for a nice win. I then play St. Petersburg. I get a win here. I'm seated at the same table as Lumen, but while Lumen is right in front of me, meaning that he's getting slightly better draft picks on certain cards, he's first workers, whereas I don't remember what seed I was, but it was not first workers. It was second workers, which is way better. So I have a better seat position, but I get to draft slightly worse cards on average. But I still put together just enough better of a game than Lumen, and I get him by 1 point for the win here. So that was a good result for me. My next heat of Agizia, I wind up at. How does this work? I wind up at a pretty good table and I take second. This Agizia game's fuzzy in my head. What happened here? Oh, Randy was at my table. It was a very good table of Agizia. Very good table of Agizia is what happened here. Yeah, I wound up at a table with Michael Swinson and Randy Bueller and Paul Clater, all pretty dang good players. Michael Swinson in particular, I think, is very good at Agizia. He gets the win at this table. I get a solid second. Randy has a kind of rough game, takes a fourth, and Paul puts together a solid game, but can only nab third. But first, second is also likely enough for Agizia, so that was a good result for me. I wind up not playing anything and just going for a slightly earlier bed. Both of these Alhambra and Raw heats didn't really matter to me, so skip those. Next morning, I go and play Acquire. I wind up losing to Jeff Wu and David Platnick. Both are pretty dang good. Jeff Wu's quite good at Acquire. I think he has laurels from a prior year. I just kind of get locked out of the key things in this game, and it's Acquire. It happens. So it's kind of how that one went. Heat 2 and Navigador, I wind up at a 5-player table. I play a really cool sailing game. I almost get completely like a dominant position because nobody was contesting me on sugar colonies, but DJ right in front of me makes a pretty good pivot and nabs some of the colonies, so I'm not the only guy, and he's now right in front of me, so my market actions are a bit weak, but as a guy shipping a lot, I don't need great market actions. But unfortunately, Rob Flowers, just like kind of generic church factory game, he just plays it very well and gets just enough breaks. He beats me by 2, and I get like a 2-point second place. So still a pretty good game, but yeah, not quite what I wanted. I then go play Vegas Showdown Heat 2. I wind up at Randy Bueller and Shadow's table, and I at least am competitive with them, which is nice. But I wind up losing like tiebreaker to Shadow, and so I only get a third place. I definitely made an error or two, but like I also didn't quite get the right flips of tiles or events. So like that's Vegas Showdown. So like whatever. Then because I didn't need to play a Gizia Heat 3, I was able to go play Santa Fe Rails Heat 2. And I get a nice win in Heat 2. I really like Santa Fe Rails. I played a bit of it last year because I didn't make it into a Gizia. And now this year I did well enough in a Gizia, I actually was able to go play Santa Fe Rails some more. But I would really like to play more Santa Fe Rails. But anyhow, this game of Santa Fe Rails goes kind of stupidly well for me. I draw both San Francisco cards, a Sacramento, a San Diego, and Los Angeles. So all the like 7-point cities, and I was able to get some help to get some trades down into a bunch of them. The Sacramentos and the LAs are both 21-point cities, and
both San Diego's and San Francisco's are 14s. So yeah, it was a bit of a game of like I got a lot of good cards and I was able to manipulate the trades where I wanted them. But yeah, I'd really like to play more Santa Fe Rails. But anyhow, yeah. So I barely beat Andrew Drummond at this heat table, and also playing Andrew is so fun. So anyhow, yeah, it was really a nice game. My third heat of Beyond the Sun, I wind up at the same table as Jim again. Once again, Jim plays a very good game, but I played just a little bit smoother and better, and I'm able to get a win. Maybe not even better, maybe luckier, but yeah, I do get a win there, which is nice. Heat 1 of Orleans, I run into Chad Martin, who is very good. I would argue he might actually be the best Orleans player, and spoiler alert, he does go on to win the tournament. He's been a lore list the last several years. He took second place last year to my first. So anyhow, it was a showdown of first and second place from last year, and well, the order got swapped. He got first, and I got second in this heat. Did some good stuff, and it's how she goes when you run into other very good players. 5-tribe semi is a total bloodbath and ugly. AJ and I kind of kick each other a lot. We wind up at a very strong table with Dominic and Chris Bizzle. And anyhow, Chris Bizzle winds up making enough right moves / breaks and whatever, and he picks up a win. I mean, it was only like 10 points top to bottom. It was just a very close, well-played game of 5-tribes, but I couldn't quite find the right path or ideas to get myself out of there. And I have one or two moves I maybe want back, but I feel I made some pretty good ones. I also could have won this game if the merchandise had like flipped a bit better. I mean, part of why I hate playing merchandise in 5-tribes is like you're hoping to get the right cards, and if you don't, you can kind of lose. But also, I kind of was running out of other ways to win, so I kind of like leaned into it, and the cards didn't come, and that's life. Once again, I choose not to really play any late night stuff and just go to bed. At the BPA meeting, we do win our team plaque stuff from last year. That was pretty fun. Heat 2 of Acquire, I get a win that I really don't deserve. That's not quite the right word. I did not really have the tile luck or the position to win this game, but I kind of won off of opponent mistakes. One of my opponents decided to keep cycling companies way too often instead of trading up and buying shares in the endgame bonuses. That gave me just enough time to hang around long enough to buy enough weird shares and then trade up into the key companies to get a lot of endgame payouts and sneak the win. So, I mean, it was kind of a skill-based thing because, like, I was able to win based on knowing what I needed to do to win. But, yeah, I definitely was not in a position where I should have won throughout much of the game. I needed some opponent mistakes to help me out, and I did get them, but I guess that's why it's a game and why Acquire can be tricky. The Agizia semifinals, I wind up at a table with a lot of good players. It's the Agizia semifinals, so of course they're good players. I ultimately take fourth in this semifinal, but like it was much closer than it appeared. I lost 2 Sphinx cards on the kind of final turn or so. I was trying to get the most green fields, but annoyingly, my opponents were like not taking that many fields besides Andrew Emmerich, and then he also wind up with a field improver card, and like basically at the end of the game, he had to decide if I had the yellow field card or the green field card, and all he had the field improver card for was to basically deny me. Like, he picked up the field improver card, though, because nobody else wanted it, which I thought was a bit weird, but just, like, it's kind of the vagaries of how it flipped up and stuff, so that was unfortunate. I also needed any more help to build the pyramid completely. Like, I built so much of the pyramid, and my opponents built so little of it. But they just wound up with not, like, the Sphinx cards that encourage people to build the pyramid did not really wind up in other players' hands. And so we didn't quite complete the pyramid, even though we absolutely could have. So if those things happen, I actually think I'm, like, almost tied with Andrew for the win. But, I mean, obviously those things did not happen. And so I'm missing, like, 15 points of Sphinx cards and take a 4th place. But it was a very well-played game. I still think I'm not quite as sharp as the best Agizia players. So, anyhow. That's how it goes. Heat 2 of St. Petersburg went pretty well, but not a win. I tried weird turn 2 academy things, but the game went 6 rounds, and so I lost to observatory players in a 6-round game, which is kind of just how St. Pete's goes. So, oh well. Wednesday morning, Heat 2 of Orleans. I played this one kind of poorly. I think I'm supposed to win this game, but I tried slightly atypical stuff and slightly mispredicted what people were doing in front of me, and I wind up with only a third place here. This is the one game I can point to throughout the week where I think I probably threw a game I should have won by not finding the right path. So I do think I did not play sharp in that game. I wind up doing nothing during the next block, but then I go play Santa Fe Rail semifinal. The Santa Fe Rail semifinal goes well for me. I wind up playing Andrew Drummond again, but I managed to beat him by just like 2 points. Just a very close game. Matt Calkins was also there, and he only lost like it was like a 151 to 153 to 155 or something like that. I only won by just a hair over both of them. But another just really good game, very enjoyable. So anyhow, I'm on to the finals. The final table is John Corrado looks like he's kind of out to an early lead. He does some really clever stuff with branches and doublers to get some huge money points. But during the mid game, I managed to get quite a few good cities and do some clever things to like help drive trains towards them. But right in the end game, John then reveals that he had drawn both LA tickets and had managed to make LA a better city than any of us kind of knew. And John winds up beating me by like 4 points or something to win the final. But I get second place, which I'm quite happy about. So back-to-back second places in Santa Fe Rails over the last 2 years. So it is kind of making me think that I need to play Santa Fe Rails more consistently, but I also want to not get too crazy. I think Santa Fe Rails is somewhat similar to Acquire that like there's meaningful skill, but like Santa Fe Rails, I think there's still meaningful amount of like, are you drawing good cities from the top of the ticket deck? Because like your game will be a lot smoother. Much like Acquire, it's like I actually think Acquire and Santa Fe Rails are kind of weirdly eerily similar in that like in Acquire you're drawing tiles off the top of your deck, like out of the bag, and those tiles are informing like where you should make placements and what stock you should buy. And in Santa Fe Rails, the like cities that you're drawing are influencing how you want to lay track and kind of what you're investing. It's not quite what you're investing in, but it's very much like the same idea of like some of the same skills. But I think both games that have similar skill in them of like trying to manipulate boards and incentives so that you benefit the most. And I think I'm very good at that part. But both games still, I mean, ultimately, like you can wind up with a much smoother, easier game if you just draw good synergistic cities, and you can certainly have a rougher game if you don't. So I don't know that I should read too much into back-to-back seconds, but based on how tough the Agizia field is, I'm very tempted in future years to just commit to more Santa Fe Rails and ignore Agizia. But who knows? We'll figure that out later. I do go play Heat 3 of Vegas Showdown. Heat 3 of Vegas Showdown, Chris Bizzle winds up beating me by a point, and I take second. It was a crazy close game, 52-51, 51-50. It's a game that got determined basically on the last event deck poll that gave some bonus points. This is another game, though, that I played somewhat poorly. I got really greedy, and then I got punished by the event deck for that greed, and there was no need for me to greed. My initial position was good enough. I should have just played solidly and assumed that I could outplay the table, or at least possibly outplay the table, and instead I got too cute too fast, and I wind up losing a game by a point where if I had just played it cleanly and sharply, I probably would just win. So, do regret that also. But I also regret the event deck being rude to me. But again, those are that's how games go. The Beyond the Sun semifinals, I do wind up winning my semifinal game. It's a bit of a tight one. It goes a lot of rounds. Opponents are more aggressive here, and they really block a lot of my colonization efforts. And I'm forced to figure a way to just do more research and techs. But I eventually just researched 2 tech 4s, and I do get a win, but it's much closer than it was comfortable. I in hindsight, this is another game that I probably could have been a bit sharper in, but I also kind of mispredicted some of my opponents. This is mildly why I don't love 4-player Beyond the Sun, is because I do think the space board can get a little bit too cramped and clustered, and like the board can move so much between your turns that you can't like actually pull off colonization or sequences, and it's so much safer to just do a research heavy game plan. And that's kind of really annoying, and it really narrows some of the strategic space and decision making of the game. But it also, I mean, some of the interaction of the game is playing the space board, but yeah, it's also just kind of annoying when opponents like very aggressively keep blocking each other's colonization efforts, and the game just like kind of stalls to a halt. So it is one of my complaints of the game. But anyhow, I wind up in the Beyond the Sun finals. The Beyond the Sun finals just go disastrously. I I do not find the text that I want when I'm researching. I do not find the events that are good when researching or like researching new texts, and I paid a couple points to go first, and so the game just kind of goes out of my control. And second and third seed instead are getting the good events and get the kind of snowballing economy going, and they play very well. The whole table plays very well, but I take a fourth there, so that was a bummer. The next morning, I played the Agricola final. We actually rescheduled the Agricola final to this morning. I take second at that final. I played very well. I talked a bit about that on stream earlier, but I put together this cool kind of stonecutter businessman game plan. There really were not particularly strong occupations, but my hand was still pretty good by the end. And I put together a pretty nice sequence of stuff, but Andrew also plays a really good game, and I lose 50-51. So that's how it goes. But I got second. I'm still really happy with second. Again, when I first showed up to WBC, I struggled to even make the semifinals. And now I've been to back-to-back finals. Last year in the finals, I do think I played kind of poorly. This year in the finals, I think I played really sharply. I think I played... I mean, you never can quite argue you played like a flawless game of Agricola, but I played very well. And Andrew also played very well, and I lost by a point. So that's kind of how games go sometimes. But I don't bother playing Carcassonne. I then play a heat of third in Taxis. I get a smooth win in this heat. Just the cards kind of come out in good order, and I'm up against some good players, but it just goes well. Heat 3 of Orleans, I take another second place. I play a reasonably good game here, but Andrew Emmerich is very good, and he beats me to doing lab stuff, and just gets a nice win. And he also winds up making the finals this year. So, I'm just getting pipped in games by good players, and last year I was just on the good end of a lot of those kind of 50-50 coin flips, and this year I'm just not. Navigador Heat 3 is basically the same thing. I lose to another very good player by only like a point or two. Aaron plays a really cool factory heavy game plan. I do another very good sailing heavy game plan, and Aaron winds up beating me by a point or two. If the game ends a couple rounds sooner, like I thought it was, I probably win, but it didn't. St. Pete quarterfinals goes poorly. I lose my quarterfinal game by 2 points. I probably bid a little too much for the seat I wanted. And by that I mean I didn't pay anything. But I should have forced the other seats to bid a bit more because I don't think anybody wanted to be fourth nobles. But I have to do a little bit too much to end the game in 5 rounds, and I just don't hit other good cards, unfortunately, either. And so the early controller takes down the game. So a bit of a bummer, but... Friday, the Orleans semi. I wind up taking second place in the Orleans semifinal, and I wind up taking 6th place overall. So I do wind up getting a couple pity laurels for Orleans, but I'm not able to defend my title. This game, Aaron Blair also beat me at, played very well, and beat me by just a few points. Well, actually more than a few. He beat me by like 10, but I do think he got a little bit gifted by the player in front of him not doing quite what I thought he might, but again, these are games, you never know. So the third quarterfinals are an utter disaster. I on my second route have Innsbruck, Salzburg on the table, which are great cities, really important to build into. There's at least 10 connectors in the deck, and the deck has only 30-ish cards remaining at this point. So my odds of hitting a connector are quite freaking good. I'm probably estimating slightly high, but there's at least, let's say, 7 connectors out of a 30 card deck, and I get to look at 7 of those cards. My odds of hitting a connector were pretty good. We're gonna go run the math fast because that's the type of person I am. There's 30 cards in the decks. Let's say 7 of them actually saved me. I get to look at 6 of them, and I can always top deck off of the last one, which is what I'm forced to do. I'm forced to top deck.
because after I wipe and reveal 6 new ones, I don't find one. But so what were the odds that I found at least one card? The odds that I found at least one were 88%. I mean, 12% chance of busting is a bit higher than you'd like, but roughly I had like a 90% chance of success, it looks like. But anyhow, yeah, I whiff. And so I have to discard some very key cards, and things just totally unravel from there. People are top decking a lot. They top deck both Alms after I already have all the other greens complete, so I never even get the green shit, even though my first route had Stuttgart and Sieg. So, like, anyhow, just a total disaster of a third game, and reminded me why I don't really like competitive third, because it turns it. People so loathe, like, wiping the deck that often you just get a bunch of cards nobody wants, and everybody is just top decking, and it's just gross. But people are top decking a lot. Well, I think this happens in general, but yes, by people I do partly mean Patrick. Patrick was at my third table, but yes, Patrick is one of the people that top decked one of my Alm cards that I wanted. But yeah, I only started top decking after I had to be. Like, there's no other thing to play. Like, all of you refuse to wipe the board. I wiped the board early and hit nothing, and, like, I can track where the cards are, and I know where they are. Like, anyhow, yes, I eventually start top decking too, because it's the only way to come back. But, like, it is a dynamic that I hate in third, and it's not. I don't think the game is fun when everybody is freaking top decking, so. And it's definitely not fun when everybody's top decking my freaking Alms so that they don't exist. But it's even worse. Anyhow, yes, missing my shot in third just killed me anyhow. Like, again, did I put myself in a position where apparently I had like only like a 90% chance of actually hitting off of an administrator? Yes. So like I put myself in a spot where I had a 10% chance to lose, and I hit that 10% chance. So that was ugly and gross and unfortunate. My Heat of Concordia goes really smoothly. I wind up at a 3-player table. My opponents are like fine, but they're not great, and I wind up getting Mason Farmer, and I just rush out all of the wheat and brick cities. I end the game with 7 brick cities, 6 wheat cities, then I had like 1 tool and 1 wine city from early on. So I get all 15 cities down and just have a very smooth win on the back of big Minerva cards and some pretty good count up province points, the Saturn cards. So nice Concordia win. I do actually sneak into the Vegas Showdown semifinals with my second places, or my second, third, whatever it was. Anyhow, yeah, second, third. But I sneak into the Vegas Showdown semis because they do wind up taking 25 players, and it's late in the week. Not everybody shows up. I play better in this game, but I play a little too hard into an income engine, and the game in 5-player, like, there's just the special tiles get bought fast enough. I think if it was a 4-player game, I think what I did was roughly right. But anyhow, Eric Freeman also just plays very well. He plays the early fancy lounge into early theater line just very cleanly, and gets a nice clean win at our table. So I still feel like I don't actually know Vegas Showdown at the same level that the very best players do, and I think this table basically played that out though. I then go play Diplomacy finally. Looking at my schedule this year, yeah, the only thing I'm really giving up is Navigador, and with my 2 second places, I'm not actually qualified for Navigador. It's very likely I get in for Navigador because I'm the first alternate, so if a single person doesn't show up, I would get in, which is very likely to work. But anyhow, by committing to Diplomacy, I'm really not losing anything much, and I do go and win my heat, and I end round 1 tied for the lead in the tournament. The next morning, I play a race for the Galaxy Heat where I take a second place to Keith Dent. That was fine. Both of us played a good game. If the game ends 1 round sooner, I win, but instead Keith gets the final turn he needs in order to beat me. But Diplomacy round 2 goes really nicely also. I play a very weird France game against England, Germany. All of us end at 6, 6, and 7 centers, but I'm able to finagle my way to the 7, and I get the second place. I wind up sitting 1 tournament point behind Dan for first place, and I'm sitting at second place at the end of round 2, so that felt pretty good. I am able to make it and play the Concordia semifinal, but the Concordia semifinal goes awfully. I'm fourth seat on a rough map. Second seat gets to just open cloth brick and do good, clean things and gets a nice win. It really makes me feel like Concordia needs bidding at this point. The WBC players have gotten so good. Uh, I'm pretty sure I won my semifinal last year from second seat, and last year Michael Swinson won the tournament from second seat. This year at my semifinal table, Brandon wins from second seat, and the eventual tournament champion AJ also wins the game from a hot second seat start. So I do not think the one victory, or I don't think the one coin is enough of a balancing mechanism for the seats, and I do think there has to be some other avenue looked at this point. That's not the only reason I lost this Concordia semifinal, but I also am not totally convinced that if I had second seat, that if I have second seat that game, I think I probably play similarly enough, or at least a good enough line that I also win. But I don't think I made the right choices from fourth seat to be as competitive as I could have been. But I suspect I still lose, even if I had. So anyhow, acquire semifinals also do not go well, but I do get in at least. I get to play them. But I play a fine game. I feel pretty good about the opening. I get some free shares. I'm getting myself in position. I'm able to do a very early merger and get some extra money. But then unfortunately, my opponents also get to do an early merger. I really struggle to find places to reform companies. I wind up sitting on a bunch of shares for a while. I get completely locked out of the big endgame bonuses, and that was pretty much the death. The game did not have that many merges. The winning score was in the low 40s. The other scores were in the upper 20s or low 30s because, yeah, there just wasn't that much cash or that much merging. And then, yes, getting locked out of the endgame bonuses in those types of games is pretty much death. But my opponents played very well and snagged all the shares before I could get them. And that was the end of my acquire title defense. The last round of diplomacy was fun. It went reasonably well, but yeah, I only got a third place. However, diplomacy is only best 2 out of 3. If the diplomacy tournament was count all 3 rounds, I would have won. I had the best overall score if you count all 3 rounds. But you actually drop your worst score and do best 2 out of 3. It turns out both Dan and I, nothing changes. We both technically could have skipped that heat, and the results were the same. After round 2, Dan was ahead of me by a single supply center point in the rankings, and he winds up winning the tournament on that. I was trying very hard in round 3, knowing that, to get a 9 center second place, and I was trying to help my closest ally just get a big first place. It was a really good plan. It was fun. We worked together really well, but unfortunately, the rest of the board stopped us. The person I was working with did indeed top the board with, but only with like 9 centers, and I wound up with like third place with like 6 centers or something. So we still had a decent bit of work to do and to go to get to both of our combined goals, and just didn't quite work. But I think it was a valiant attempt and a good strategy. So anyhow, I took second place overall in diplomacy, which was nice. The final morning, I play a heat of Race for the Galaxy that goes very smoothly. I get a clean win. Heat 4, I think I take another second place to a pretty good player. I'm pretty sure. No, I tied. I tied somebody and lost tiebreak and took second place at a tough table. And then Race for the Galaxy semifinals, I wind up losing. I just don't really get a good hand, and I muddle my way through. I actually do get second place at my table, but first place was just a mile ahead. They got one of those race hands that just started cruising, and they quickly became a runaway leader when none of the rest of us found cards that synergized well enough or found the right lines to shove ahead. So that was my entire WBC. I played a lot of games that I really enjoyed. I had a really good time. I played quite a few semifinals, but yeah, I mean, I made 3 finals or 4 if you want to count diplomacy. I personally would count diplomacy. I mean, they run a different format, but it's essentially I was in a final. So yeah, I made 4 finals for the week. I think leading into it, I basically said that like I thought about 3 finals was kind of my average result at this point, and I think that basically does bear out. I made it to like 10 or 11 advancement rounds, and from those like 10 or 11 advancement rounds, I pushed my way into like 3 or 4 finals, depending on how you're counting it all. And so yeah, like I had a good week and it was enjoyable. But yeah, results wise, I actually think I was kind of average-ish. I didn't have great results, but I certainly had pleasant results. Had some stuff to show. I got a couple plaques. So all of that was good. I still really love the con. I have a great time with it. Really enjoy it. Very much looking forward to going in future years. I do think I'm going to try to make a bigger goal of attending the diplomacy games. I had such fun just playing diplomacy. It is a bit brutal on the end of week schedule, but like it worked pretty well this year. Of like I still got into the Concordia and Acquire semifinals. The only thing I actually gave up that I do kind of care about is Navigador, and I am pretty good at Navigador, so giving that up was a bit sad, but it's not really that big of a deal actually. And otherwise, that's all I really had to do to make diplomacy work. Now, next year the diplomacy schedule is going to wind up having to change because if they kept it at the same time, it would be the same time as Gen Con, and the GM definitely has to be at Gen Con due to their like basically contractual obligations with Renegade. They're basically a rep for Renegade, etc. But anyhow, I would really like to prioritize diplomacy again next year. I think I'm basically done playing Orleans at WBC. The field has just become so good, and I'm really soured on the game. I don't find that the game has that many interesting decisions for me anymore. Most of the interesting decisions in Orleans come from kind of the designer provided puzzle of like working out what combination of building tiles and action sequences are good, and it's not so much playing the other players. So anyhow, I do think I'm done playing Orleans. I kind of want to be done playing Third and Taxis on some level. I might not play Agizia there anymore either. I do think Agizia is actually still quite a good game. And maybe instead I will just study Agizia even harder to try to figure out where that remaining skill is that I don't have that I think the best players do. But also, as long as Agizia and Santa Fe continue to be like counter scheduled so much, I do think I had more fun playing the Santa Fe Rails games. Although again, I don't know if that's partly because I was winning the Santa Fe Rails games due to luck, but we'll see. Um, we'll see. I do also personally want to try to pick another game or two that's going to be like new and go try to compete in it. I think that's part of why I had such fun in diplomacy is like I was back trying to have to really figure things out in new and interesting ways and situations. And I think too many of the games that I was playing at WBC for the week, I was kind of just executing my like algorithm for how to play the game. And diplomacy really shook that up and made me really have to think about, oh wait, how do you play this game? Along with diplomacy is very much kind of playing the players anyhow. So I am looking forward to trying to figure out a new game or two to really dive into. Beyond the Sun slightly gave me that this year too. Beyond the Sun was new to me, and so diving into that tournament and trying to compete and prove myself there was nice. But yeah. I guess, yeah, my final thing I'm going to do, now I am just curious. I did make the Orleans semis. I played in St. Pete quarters. I made Agricola and Beyond the Sun finals. That is clearly not a great color to highlight in. Let's go like light blue. I played Five Tribes Acquire semis. I did play Agizia semis. I basically played Diplomacy finals is what I'm arguing. Like Santa Fe I played in the finals. Race I made the semis. Vegas I played in the semis. Third I played quarterfinals. I believe that does indeed cover all of the games I played. Oh no, Santa Fe Rails I said. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, Santa Fe finals are there. So yeah, I made 2 quarterfinals. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 true semifinals, and maybe a 10th if you want to count diplomacy. So like I made 11 or 12 advancement rounds, and I made 3 or 4 finals, depending on how you're counting it. So that's a pretty dang good week. Lot of success in heats, some success in semifinals and advancement rounds, and some success still in finals. So yeah, felt good. Have a couple second place plaques. Have a second place in Agricola, which feels great. Second place plaque in diplomacy feels great. So yeah. Anyhow, I've been blabbing a lot, and not clear that most of the people here at the end of the stream actually cared, which is fair. I understand. But I'm gonna go pick. I'm gonna go see if Lumen is streaming. Although it looks like Lumen is watching the stream, which suggests to me that Lumen indeed is probably just chilling and not streaming today, which makes total sense to me because I also probably should just be napping instead of streaming. But indeed, it looks like Lumen is not streaming as far as I can see. So I think I'm just going to wrap things up here. Thanks everyone for chatting. Anybody who's watching this and has questions about WBC ever, feel free to reach out, ask. I love this convention. Love to see more people there. I guess that is the one other final thing I could say for like Agricola folks. There's a lot of people that enjoy Agricola and playing open Agricola games and stuff too. This year a little less. Some of them had to leave early, but like in general, I think you could probably get a lot of Agricola played if that was your goal in open gaming. This year was kind of wild in that like a lot of people in the Agricola community were there. So like Lumen's summer tournament, right? He like streamed the finals with him, Sean, Riley / Gray, and Sid. Like all of those people were at WBC and hanging out, and like it was great for me to meet some of them and like play Agricola with a bunch of them too. And so yeah, it's just a really fun time. So I highly encourage going to WBC for people who are at all interested in it or thinking about it. But yeah, hope to see people there in the future. And I'm gonna head off. I don't know when I'll next be streaming, but also glad that this Agricola game went well and we had a smooth win. That felt pretty nice too. So anyhow, thanks all. Headed off. See y'all around later. Bye.